I'm coming, sheesh. Phone's ringing. Hang on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. Uh-huh. Alright. Well, looks like I have to go box and pack. I get to get out of boxing packages. And instead, we're gonna be interviewing the developers and I get to talk to them. Nah, I'm just gonna go box those packages. They're fun to box. Let's go. Hello, chat. Hi. You guys can be heard now.
Hello there.
Hello.
Chat, this is the developers, Harrison and Liv. You guys can introduce yourselves.
You go first.
Sorry, Harrison, I muted you for a second to not have double sound. So if you said something to me, I don't know. But I'll start with myself. Sure. My name's Liv, but it's not Liv at all. My name's Christine, and I voice Liv in the game.
My name is Harrison. I composed all the music in the game. I did a lot of the initial concept and design, and I did a lot of the writing as well.
Hello, hello, welcome on in. Thank you guys for joining us. You want me to raise the volume? Ooh, I'm shrinking myself by accent. I hate when VTube Studio does that. So if I'm clicked onto VTube Studio and I try to do something on my other monitor, it will like if I'm scrolling on anything, it will cause my model to shrink, because scroll wheel is how you shrink it. Fun stuff, you know. And yeah, that's Harrison Liv. So, you guys want to first like explain what Letterlost is for those who may not know?
Yeah, sure. So we call it a totally normal post office game where nothing weird ever happens. And the idea sort of came from a friend of ours who designs escape rooms for his day job. He designs and builds them as a carpenter. And while we were thinking of an initial game concept, we wanted to implement escape room elements, and we decided, what if the room that you're trying to escape from was your job? And thus, Letterlost was born from that.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that little history behind it. That's fun. Well, that was my first question. I've got a few questions written down to ask y'all.
Sure.
I think the first thing. So you already said the escape room gave you major inspiration. What is another thing that gave you inspiration?
I
Do
feel
you
like
have
there are
one,
so many
Christine?
things that that kind of came together to inspire the game. A lot having to do with our backgrounds. One big thing is that Harrison and I, who are married, met working on cruise ships as performers. And cruise ships are extremely isolating, and they are a closed environment. And although to a guest who's only there for a week, it feels like this very large sort of playground, if you live there for 8 months, a year, whatever it is, it's very, very small and isolating. You're in such a small space. It's not your own. You don't have autonomy. It's very regimented. And I just think we actually unintentionally were inspired a lot by the experience of the isolation of cruise ships. And in addition, we, in our other jobs, have a theater, and we do very weird theater. We do weird theater that focuses on music and storytelling, and we've been producing for about a decade. And I think just a lot of our experiences with storytelling in subversive ways kind of seeped its way into Letterlost and just who we are as artists.
Oh wow, yeah. That's actually really interesting. Is that like also where the repeating of weeks kind of came from? Because I'd assume it feels like the same thing over and over again when working on a cruise ship.
On cruise ships, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of dialogue. There's going to be very slight spoilers throughout, but like nothing major overarching. But just so everyone's aware, there's some lived dialogue when she talks about the monotony of being in a place like this that comes directly from our thoughts of like what it was like to work on a cruise ship, where it's just intense sensory depravity of like if you live in a room where that doesn't have a porthole, right? Waking up at 5 in the morning versus 5 in the evening feels the exact same, right? You can't see sunlight, all those things. Talking to friends and family is not an option. Like we didn't even have really access to internet on the ship when we were there. And the autonomy of being able to get up and go out and do something just didn't exist either. So we would plan our days in like 5-minute increments at a time of like, well, I could go brush my teeth. That'll kill 2 minutes. and then I'm 2 minutes closer to going to bedtime. So that sense of like mundanity, loneliness, isolation, all of those things were elements that we wanted to put into Letter Lost.
Well, and in addition, for guests, like when the guests come on board, most guests, it's their first day, it's their first week, but you've been there for potentially months and months and months. People would ask us all the time, like, "Oh, do you get off? Did you just get on just like us?" And it's like the repeating nature of it is very weird, like because they go on these schedules. I was generally on 12-day cruises, but there are 3-day cruises, 7-day cruises, 20-day cruises, whatever. But in that time frame, you're just doing the same thing over and over. But to a guest, it's very novel. And then you just start it over again, and then you start it over again, and you go to the same places in the same order. And so, I don't know if that was like an intentional inspiration, but I think that's just sort of embedded in who we are because of, we both did that at a pretty formative time in our lives right out of college. And it's hard not to like kind of hold on to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I can definitely see the inspiration for it in the game. And it's really
I think there was... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
it's really like interesting like that. I actually have a friend who works on cruise ships. I remember like he would try and call us every once in a while. It would only be occasionally, and there would be like major breaking up, and he had to like sneak his phone because he wasn't allowed to be on his phone in the first place. Do you guys have like anything similar to that? Like, did you guys do things like that? Or
Calling people and the
you go
internet, it costs a lot of money. So like you didn't go on the internet and you didn't use phones. So, if you're willing to pay $1.25 a minute to be on the internet or the phone, then you would use it. But otherwise, that's again where the isolation is really intense, and you just don't get a chance to connect with people outside of that bubble, really.
Right. That's really interesting. And yeah, definitely definitely inspiration.
I think there's a lot of little things in that in Letter Lost rather that we didn't realize until, I don't know, quite a ways in. We didn't realize where all the inspirations came from until we're writing dialogue talking about it, and it's like, oh, this is describing the cruise ship, or this is describing like the health of parents and things like that.
Right, yeah. So, on that note, do you have a favorite part in making it? Letter Lost.
You want to go first, Christine?
No, you go first.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm my real job, my day job, is I'm a professional musician, and I do a lot of work with, I read a lot of music. I can read charts, I can play by ear, I can do all of those things, but I love improvising and playing off the top of my head. And the way that I composed a lot of the music in the game that plays during the mailroom, it's a lot of just like solo piano, and it's very ambient and calming. The way I composed it was similar to the way that we sort of want people to tackle some of the puzzles, in that I would improvise up to a point, and then when I hit a brick wall, I would stop and start over, and then just make a different choice. And each time I would record it, and eventually, after like repeating that cycle over and over again a number of times, I would have a piece. And that was a really, really cool, like, it doesn't really matter to say that fact out loud, but it did to me. Like, it was a really interesting part of the process to get to compose the music in the manner that we want people to play the game.
I mean, as someone who has over 30 hours in the game, I would be lying if I said I've never, like, repeated over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what my favorite part of it has been. I came in a little bit later in the process, and so I've worked throughout, but in earnest, I worked more in the last like 6 months. I think I mean, obviously, voicing Liv is really fun. Um, Getting to kind of have this subversive character who knows more than you do for a lot of it and just be very mysterious is quite fun. But also just, it's really fun to engage with the community and, I don't know, just get to watch people play in the space and watch them discover the things that we've been sort of embroiled in for the last few years.
Yeah, and you guys are definitely very engaging with the community. I mean, Discord server, you guys are so active. I think that actually helps the
That's
Discord
maybe my
server be
favorite
more
part of
active.
it. Yeah, I
Aw.
love the like hopping in streams and particularly if we see a stream pop up and we see that the person has like sub 50 followers or whatever, like those are my favorites,
Oh yeah.
where you hop in, they have 1 or 2 viewers and you say, hey, Letter Lost Dev, like really excited to be here or whatever, and just to see their face light up, like that's the best part of this job, is just like getting to connect with people and meet them and see them get to experience this thing that we work so hard on.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I can imagine. I know that one of my favorite things as a content creator is being able to show myself off in front of a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can definitely see that as a favorite. So, with that note, what was your least favorite part? Not necessarily something bad, but just like something maybe that was like extremely difficult to do, or something you had to overcome.
That's a good question. I think there's a lot of stuff on the back end that is really cumbersome and difficult to deal with. The amount of menus and settings and buttons and manuals to read through and guides, etc., for dealing with Steam on the back end is really overwhelming for a first-time developer. Like, it is so much stuff, and I think, a lot of developers get blamed for a lot of the shortcomings of Steam and things like that at time, of like clunkiness with the Steam interface and things going on there, frequency of updates and whatever else. It's all sort of wrapped up in how how cumbersome Steam is as a utility. But it's great. Like it's the best thing that we have to sell, promote, etc. the game. But it is cumbersome to navigate, and it's not a ton of fun, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think for me, as somebody who is an avid gamer, longtime gamer, I play most genres of games. Um, Doing development has taught me a lot about how complex things are behind the scenes. It is astonishing the number of things that can go wrong from fixing something, and it can be really hard to try to identify bugs and things that seem very obvious to the player, of like, how did you not know this? And it's like, you know, learning more about how things work in programming and in the back end, I'm like, you'd be shocked. You'd be shocked at how many things that seem really obvious are very hard to find or see, whatever, how specific every issue is. So that's just been very eye-opening, and I would say it's one of my least favorites, simply because it can be frustrating when you can see the problem and it's very hard to identify how to solve it, or if you try to solve it and then it breaks 10 other things, and it's just it can be frustrating and cumbersome.
Oh yeah, development is very difficult, especially the back end. I much prefer doing front end development. One of my Mhm.
Oh, sorry.
No, you can.
To just jump really quickly off of what Christine said, I think a lot of people don't realize too how much stuff there is, and how the resources of a small team can be applied to fix those things. So, there are bugs in the game. Absolutely, the game has some like unpolished corners that we're still working to fix, and I'm not trying to make excuses for that or anything. Like, we want to fix those too, but the like impatience of people saying like, wow, did the devs even test this, is like, I have put like a year of my life into playtesting this game. Yes, we playtested it, and it's just things go wrong sometimes, and you put out one fire and two more pop up, and eventually they sort of start to deaden down. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's really really hard, and small teams are going to have a hard time to catch um, like machine specific bugs is a really tough one for us because we have prior to launching the game, we had the game run on maybe 20 computers, you know, from like friends and family and amongst ourselves. We tried it and didn't experience a lot of the bugs that people are seeing now just because every computer behaves differently. And so on day one, we had, you know, how many more sales and people playing it than we ever had an opportunity to have play the game. So things are going to crop up there, and it's really really tough to not have those resources and see people get frustrated when like we are equally as frustrated and wanting to solve them. That is a really really tough thing to navigate.
Yeah, oh. I can definitely understand the frustration, like, of when. I mean, like, I understand running into a bug, oh no, but I also understand on the other side. Yeah, it's so easy to miss things. Even as a writer, like, the amount of times I will proofread, I will, have other people, beta readers, and then I'll still come out with like 50 spelling errors.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's again, this is not the player's job at all, but it's like when you think about the scope of, I mean, this game has, I think the demo had over 40,000 words in it, and the game is like 5 times larger than the demo. So I mean, it is hundreds of thousands of words, and it's 4 people, you know. So like, that's not to say anyone should be, you know. I just don't think people always know the scope because they think, I just can't believe they would not see this easy thing. And I'm like, with unlimited time and unlimited resources and unlimited money, perhaps, but that's not the real world. And so all we can do is our best. And, you know, obviously we take the criticism and, you know, we fix it, and that is what it is. But I just never really thought about how difficult it would be to hunt down a lot of these things with so few people.
Yeah, right. It's definitely fun to catch those bugs. One of the chatters, Toaster, made a really funny joke in chat going, 99 bugs on the wall, 99 bugs on the wall, take one down, fix it around, 54,821 bugs on the wall.
Yeah.
Definitely how it goes. So then we can move on to next question. This one's a fun one. What's your favorite NPC, not including Liv? Because I know what you're gonna say.
Do you have one, Christine?
And
Oh,
does this
Shelly.
pertain to lore? Oh, Shelly.
I love
Shelly's the best.
I articulated the Shelly mannequin. I did all her poses, and I love her so much, and I love each of her little spots, and they make me so happy. And I just think it's such a fun moment to watch in the game. That first time she comes out and the discoveries, it's fun from a viewer standpoint, it's fun from a player standpoint, and it's just very enticing.
Shelly is kind of a microcosm of how we tried to make the game as well. Like, we really set out to create a very not traditional, but like a much more horror centric experience. And every time we did, we found ourselves being pulled back to something like a little more lighthearted or like making fun of that sort of thing, and not taking itself too seriously in every case. And Shelly, like in the trailer, the trailer was put out before we had an opportunity to like really flesh out that storyline, and so we always thought it would be a very like scary part of the game. And like the first couple times it happens, yeah, absolutely, it is startling. But then you start to love her because she just like is part of this space and is fun to be around. So that's a lot of fun. I think my favorite NPC is Amara, even though she makes a very small appearance. I think she has a lot of like fertile ground for continuing to flesh out what that story means, basically, and like it's a fun exercise in like no matter what the player chooses, they're wrong to some degree. Like all choices are wrong choices here, and I think that's really fun to play with.
Noting that part down. I had a feeling I made the wrong choice anyway. On Shelly, I will say, when I first saw her, I was definitely like startled. It made my heart drop. But then like I told her that I was gonna put it in the shredder. I turn around, look back, her hand's in the shredder.
Yeah.
She listened.
And you can't help but laugh. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's pretty funny. Like we tried to make her really spooky at first, but then it was like, oh, but we could like put her in really funny poses, and now it's like sort of disarming at the same time. It was a really fun experience.
I think in addition, like it's a microcosm of how Harrison really wanted the office to build a sense of safety. Like this is, even though it's ominous, but it's like there's no one else here. Okay, no one's coming in. Okay, and then things like Shelly or the closet door closing or items being put back in their spots. Those things then invade your sense of safety and make you kind of doubt the space or make you question things. And so it's that like building safety and then pulling it away. Sort of, Harrison, you always use the example of Resident Evil, allowing a monster to come into your safe room, which is just like, I cringe to even think about it. Ugh.
We call it violating the player's space. And yeah, it does come from, I don't know if we have any Resident Evil fans watching or listening, but you know, there's a large portion of one of those games where you have this like giant space where you can go and put all of your things in your chest and be safe, and the music is safe and all of these things. And about halfway through one of the games, suddenly this large man starts chasing you around the environment, and the first time you're like in your chest and you hear the thump thump of his boots and you're like, wait a second, you do not belong here, and you look up and he's there with you. It's like,
Ugh.
oh, chef's kiss. It's so good.
Hate it.
And nothing like that happens in our game, but like we wanted to imply that like things are changing when you're not looking. People or things or forces are impacting the space that you are spending so much time in, and you cannot explain them or see them or even communicate with them often, and you don't know what they are. So
Like-
it's very invasive.
We watched a streamer last night who threw a bunch of stuff in the toilet in the bathroom because they're like, I think people are cleaning it up overnight. So they threw a bunch of stuff in there and then they went to sleep, came back out, and it was all gone. And they were like, oh my God, I don't know why that creeps me out more than anything else, because that means someone was in here,
Yeah.
which is just such a fun touch.
I threw all the toilet paper down into the toilet.
Exactly.
I just wanted to see what happened. I was like, could I flush this down the toilet? Hey, future feature.
Exactly.
Usable toilet.
Absolutely.
Then, if that's your favorite NPC, and for very good reasons, I love that, like, lore reasons or just, you know, fun reasons. And I think Shelly is, like, everyone's favorite in one way or another. Everyone who has run across her, at least. What's your least favorite NPC?
Ooh.
I'll tell you.
That was so fast.
And this is for like non-gameplay reasons. My least favorite NPC is Indrik, because when we're testing the game, we have all these cheats and we can jump around to different parts of the game, but he has some scripted interactions that if we jump around in the wrong way and we aren't paying attention, he totally bricks our testing run by getting right in the middle of something else and like bricking the save, and we call it he imbricked us. And so I'm just like, every time I test, I'm like, okay, everything has to stop for Indrik to come for his dumb little interaction, and then we can move on with our days. So there you go.
He likes to role play outside of even the gameplay into our testing. He invades. Yep.
Oh,
And then every
Classic.
week he comes back and he's like, do you want to solve my riddle? And I'm like, no, I am working on something else right now. I am not testing you right now. And he's like, okay, well, I'll call back later. And I'm like, please don't. Please don't.
That very much so sounds like how it's something Indrik actually would do, like intentionally. Just like judging by his character, at least things that we know of his character.
Harrison,
I
do
would
you have a least favorite?
Ooh, least favorite. I mean, I think as far as who I would be the least excited to meet in public, probably Matilda, and I think that's because I think she's so well written that within like 2 sentences of her showing up, everyone's like, "Oh, I hate this woman." You know, that like that's all it took for solidifying who she is as a person. You know, people just know immediately that Matilda sucks. But I think she has a really interesting storyline. I just would like to never meet her in person, if possible.
Yeah, I would like to avoid meeting her in person too. Even though after using the outer stone on her, I started like kind of feeling bad and about hating on her. I still don't want to meet her in person.
Yeah, she's got a fun redemption arc, which I think is really, I mean, depending on your choices, that is. Like, she doesn't
Yeah.
have to have that, but she has the potential to have this, a bit of redemption, which really makes you sort of empathize with her a bit.
I don't think I ever like completed her storyline because the most I did was like send a letter, and then without even thinking, I opened her letter that she
Oops.
was sending, and so now I'm possessed. But you know,
Yeah.
hey, that means
Happens.
there's someone else in there with me.
Yep.
If only
It
he would talk
happens.
to me though. Besides the occasional pointing certain things out.
Mm-hmm.
Although, is there like, this is totally off track, but is there any like specific reason those specific things are pointed out? Like when you point something out, or is it just random items?
There, you take this, Christine, because you did this bit.
Yeah, I did do this bit. Well, we both did this bit. I programmed it. He wrote the interactions. I mean, it was mostly like honestly programming limitations of what you could interact with that wouldn't mess with other interactions, and so I just basically flew around the post office in Unity, and I went, "This'll do. This won't mess up with something else." And we thought, what would be fun lore? We like to think about where, like a little extra bit of lore, like being able to have him talk about each of the districts is like another cool way to talk about the world, or just little things that you might think about yourself as a player. So I mean, that was kind of it, and we didn't want it to be too onerous, but we also didn't want it to be like not a fun interaction. So honestly, it was just sort of like, all right, well, let's pick like 10 things that aren't going to mess up other interactions and seem kind of fun, and that's sort of where we landed.
It's also a product of the way the stories are constructed in the game. We have what's called a true ending and a false ending. So again, mild spoilers. You find this out within the first like hour of play. So earmuffs if you don't want to know it, but you are caught in a weak loop, basically a rough, a very loose loop, and so a lot of the NPCs will return to the window and say the same things to you and offer the same sort of breadcrumb for their storyline. And opening that letter is not a true ending, it's a false ending, but it's a fun thing to discover, and there's an achievement behind it, etc. So whenever we had those false endings that are a fun thing to discover, we wanted to make sure that it wasn't like, oh, well, I just ruined that storyline. And we wanted to sort of find ways to still make it exciting beyond that. So Matilda will return the following week and still continue her story. That's not a true ending. But you know, you get like a couple days of like, oh wow, Winston will just comment on something as you're doing something, and you'll be like, oh, that's new, you know. So it's less punishing, I guess, and it's more of a reward for finding that little interaction.
Right. Yeah. It does pose a few questions. How does Winston leave and such? But you know, that probably leads more into like why the world loops the same week over and over again. And a lot of lore. Which is another thing I really like about you guys' game, the world building. Like, it's so good. You give
Thank you.
just enough information to make me want more. and to make me like start coming up with ideas and thinking I know it, and the next thing I know, I am completely wrong.
One of my favorite game series of all times is Dark Souls, and I adore those games, and they're so good. And I discovered very late like all of the lore implications of Dark Souls, and it's not even really a part of the game at all, unless you want it to be. Um, but they just so masterfully do the like just drop a proper noun, like name an event or a person or a place or a whatever, give like one line about it and then nothing else. And then other people can start to make connections and draw lines between things and sort of fill in the gaps themselves. And that's a really fun space to be in. And I'm not going to make any claims that we did anything remotely as like masterfully done as they did, but that was sort of the inspiration of create a space to play in, create sort of a framework of rules for this world. We don't ever really explicitly state the full rules, I don't think. Like, we just give like a framework and we let you fill in the gaps and try to figure things out for yourself. And that way we didn't catch ourselves in any contradictions at some point. We left it open-ended for sequels and additional content or expanding upon this world. And it just sort of gives us a safety net of being able to like change our minds about something later in those additional content too.
Yeah, right. Makes a lot of sense. And I mean, good to know. All my theories are. Wait, would you guys then find theories that we've made and be like, oh, that actually is a really good one, and implement it later on?
I don't
Yeah,
think
I mean,
that's happened yet.
I don't think we've implemented any like literal story beats that people have suggested.
Well, we
But
certainly
yeah, I
read
mean,
them all.
we read them all, and all of them are great. And I'm sure at some point we'll be like, "Ooh, yeah, that feels right to us," and something will make its way in.
Yeah. I didn't think you would now, because that would have been. You guys have only done like bug fixing since release.
So
And
far,
most of the
yeah,
theories
and a little bit
came
of
after.
line additions, yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the theories came after um release, because that's when we got all the story. So I was talking about like if you ever did like sequels or whatever.
hmm
Because is there like in your head, do you have a specific reasoning in mind, or is it all just open?
Reasoning in
Oh,
mind
behind the
for
time loop?
Yeah, behind anything, like you know.
yeah, I think this is not mild spoilers. We're approaching like medium spoilers now. Well, first of all, have you finished the game?
I have not completed the game yet. It's because I
Okay,
keep
then
throwing myself into holes. However, I have gone into phase 3.
totally fine. Okay, so sort of medium spoilers now. I think there are elements of this throughout the game, but there is a cosmic horror element of this game, something that
Yes,
is
I do
beyond.
remember. I can't remember
Yeah,
who mentioned it. Was it uh, the old lady?
there's a few
What
mentions
is
of
it?
it.
But
Um,
I remember like specifically being told that we are major spoilers chat, because I don't think I did this with you guys. That we are like a little speck on some kind of creature. Inside
something
some
like
sort of
that.
creature.
Yeah, we compare what Carnum is to a blood cell within a
Yep,
larger
I remember
organism.
that was.
And so, we as humans aren't really aware of what our blood cells are doing at any point in time. So neither is this being, right? Um, and I think creature implies this like physical form. We're sort of thinking it is this metaphysical, like, is it the
Oh.
fog? Is it anything? I don't know. We don't know. There's no concept art or anything of it because we wanted it to be very abstract, unknowable, all of these things. It is a force and not a character, and it's a setting basically. So that's the cosmic horror element of it. I forget how we even. Oh, you asked about the time loop. Yeah. So I think our bodies operate on these cycles, right? It's all within the respiratory system and the nervous system and all these things. They work on these cycles that you and me and Christine do not like sit here and think and like strain ourselves to make our blood flow. You know what I mean? It just happens. And so that's sort of how we're viewing this time loop. Whoever you are popped into this environment, and you are producing something for this being, whether it's stress or fear or strain or anxiety or some people have posited that it's just literally the male, like doing the male feeds it. I don't know. We tried to avoid saying what it was. That way it's just whatever the player wants it to be, however they want to rebel against what's going on is how they choose to rebel against it. And that's sort of where the loop comes in, is that the player is offered breadcrumb trails, and by sort of playing with these things, they are able to impact the loop. Like it's I think we call it a system in the game. The loop is a system, Indrik calls it. And so by pushing at the walls of this system, eventually something cracks and it changes a little bit for the next time, and then enough changes, and now the system is trying to correct itself and micromanage, and then mistakes happen, and that's sort of where Indrik comes in. Did that answer your question, I think?
It definitely did.
Yeah.
I actually kind of dropped the Indrik stuff because I'm like, I don't want to answer this. So I've gone into phase 3 without finishing or continuing Indrik's story, so technically I haven't even called the I think it was the power company or something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I know where you're at.
Yeah. I never called them. I just continued other things.
Yeah.
Which I
You'll
find
have to see what
hilarious
happens.
that I can do that.
Yeah.
Because like
You'll have to see what happens. And he was originally like, he served the narrative purpose of the game it's a game within a game, right?
Right.
Everything about the game is telling you this is a post office simulator, but it really is not. It's an escape room that just happens to be in a post office. And so Indrik was the narrative element that comes in, disrupts things, tells you to misbehave, tells you to pull at strings and what you should be doing. And he sort of gives you that setting of like, oh, that's why I'm doing that, is because it sort of, that's how we escape. That's how we figure out what's going on.
Right, yeah. Because without him, I probably would still be sorting mail.
Exactly, yeah. That's the problem we ran into with the first iteration of the demo. Like, the mail was compelling enough and people just sat there and did it. And it's like, no, but you need to go find the things.
You won't know if people like that aspect if people don't do it.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, and the fact that you can just sit there and do mail over and over again, although that would get very repetitive and wouldn't last that long, just because it repeats the same week over and over
Absolutely.
again.
Yeah.
Though you,
It's something we wanted to give players the option to do. Like, I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, Christine, but there are very, very few instances in the game in which the game tells the player what's going to happen next. It's almost entirely the player is telling the game to progress through their actions. There's very few instances of this. And even still, like, it's because the player did something that then later the game says, all right, we're progressing. So, if you wanted to just sit and do nothing, then nothing happens. And that's fine if that's how people want to play. We won't tell them how to play.
another thing, I just wanted to mention this, that I noticed you guys do, what is it called? It's called, like, I can't remember the term, like Diamond's gun or whatever. So it's basically, if there's a gun on the table,
Oh, Chekhov's gun.
you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta use it it's gotta be used by the third act. And I noticed you guys
Yep.
definitely use all those different little things.
We actually we say all the time in anything we watch, we're like, oh, Chekhov's fruit bowl, like whatever we
Yeah.
separate
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the time to be like, okay, what are you gonna do with that? So, and it's interesting. There's a lot of things in the game, and I'm not gonna say any of them, but there's a lot of things in the game that when people go, why is it like this? I'm like, come back in 2 acts,
Yeah.
and you will see why it is like that. But it's funny because they actually think we get a lot of reports of, I think this is a bug because, and I'm like, I understand why you think that because this game is weird, but it is not, and that's just gotta wait. So yeah,
gotta
we
see what
definitely use
happens
that
next.
concept.
Yeah.
And there's more coming too, and like we have several storylines that we're looking to add, and a few of them are endings that also have their own Chekhov's XYZ, item that you've been. It might even be like one of the first things you touched when you started the game that you're now like, oh, whoop, all right, well that was involved in the ending, and I could have done it from the beginning.
Man, at this point, I'm gonna need more saves. 3 is just not gonna be enough saves.
I think you can have more than 3, right? Didn't we just add that,
Yes,
Kristen?
we did. Yep.
Oh, you did add that? Yay!
Yeah, I have because I have everyone's saves that I fix and stuff. So I've got like 20 player saves. It's funny, I play on people's saves all the time to test stuff, and I'm just like, hi, welcome to their game.
That's hilarious. I was thinking, like, a feature, like, is there any specific feature you'd like to add to the game? Distant future, near future, at some point.
Do you have an idea, Christine?
There's so many things I want to not say. So
Oh.
I'm like,
Try
what
to.
to say?
Man.
The
I-
funny
you know-
answer is, so I was going to say, if time and money and anything else were not an issue, then yeah, obviously multiplayer would be hilarious, but that's not going to happen at any time soon,
Oh,
unfortunately.
yeah. Oh.
You had one, Christine?
I just don't know if I want to say anything. Like the answer is absolutely
Ooh.
yes, but I think just gotta wait and see.
2 major spoilers?
Well,
I
two
think-
things. I don't want to promise something that ends up not happening because in practice it's harder than it seems. And 2, I think like a lot of the stuff we have been finding that we're adjusting or fixing or whatever is actually like more than the sum of its parts, basically. So, on its surface it seems like a pretty simple thing, but in conjunction with everything else makes a higher quality of life game. And so there are a lot of things that we want to change that by itself are not huge, but we think are going to add up to just a stronger game in general.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. I
think.
should
Sorry,
say
you go
to
ahead, Jen.
chat, none of the things being mentioned is guaranteed.
True.
I think the easy answers for me would be, I would love to have more radio channels. Like that was such a cool experience. If you haven't listened to them yet, there's a ton of lore. They have their own like secrets and hints and puzzles and things to find in them. And it was a community effort. We have lots of fan voices and streamer voices and voices of our friends. We wanted to use the game as a platform to get people experience and credit in a shipped game so that they can point to their resume and say, hey, I played this part in Letterlost and whatever else. And it was just a really, really cool, fulfilling experience. Like I got emotional when I mixed down the very final episode of the radio, because it was all the fan voices put together, and it was really, really cool. So I would love to do more of that. That's a pretty low to the ground, and I think we can all but confirm that that's probably going to happen at some point in time. We'll add more to that.
Well, if you need another voice actor.
Absolutely, we'll be reaching out.
I know myself and Porcelain Maid also wants to do voicing in
Perfect.
games.
Perfect.
And he's willing, just like I, both willing to do like unpaid work to put on resumes. So
Yeah, we'll as we figure out what to do with that, we'll definitely be reaching out again to to get more people involved, because it was really, really cool. Like we got to connect people who never had any chance of meeting each other in life, and now they're like talking to each other on the radio. It's really cool. So there's that. That's pretty low to the ground. Probably will happen at some point. The other system that I think I would love to expand on, but I don't know if it's worth it and or would we have the time, is like the telephone. There's a lot of phone numbers in the guidebook and that you can discover and things like that, and they sometimes do things and sometimes don't. And I think it adds to the mystery of like, why do people not always answer the phone? But there's just a lot of fertile ground in there to hide more experiences and more things to discover that we just didn't have time to add for the 1.0 launch. But there's room to grow.
I mean, I did notice that there are multiple, like, times. Some of the, options, because I assume it's a randomized thing. When you pick up the phone, it'll give one of the, and it's a dead number. It'll give one of the options, and one of them I found very interesting. It was like, how it's like, how many people are in this town that there's, I can't remember exact phrasing, but but there's none of the phone numbers are working, kind of thing.
Yeah. How many of them have a phone or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is actually really interesting to think about, because how many of them do have a phone? I do have a few theories of why no one picks up the phone unless either it'll progress the story, or I've tested a bunch of random phone numbers and haven't found any that besides story phone numbers, so I don't know if there's other ones.
Oh, there's some secret ones, yeah.
Oh, okay. So besides those ones, I do have a working theory on that. A very this one's it's very, the entire thing revolves around you, and if you aren't doing things, the rest of Carnum isn't doing things type.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thought that I had. Another one being, I think I've mentioned my fog theory. I don't know if I mentioned it in full, because there is a lot more to the theory about the fog, but part of it is that the people we run into are all just illusions in the fog. And we are actually the only person.
Do you want me to comment on that, or
Sure,
do you want to?
Sure, go for it.
There was an iteration of the game in which we discussed more of the concept of illusions and the player being fed this sort of experience from whatever forces are at play here, right? And so the only real physical manifestation of a space is the post office, but we decided that we wanted there to be stakes, and we wanted there to be actual characters that had actual consequences. So you make a choice and a character dies. That doesn't mean anything if they are illusions.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so we opted not to go that route for that reason. And that doesn't mean that in another future game in a different place where it's just another cell within this system or this organism or whatever, that it couldn't be the case there. But in our case here, no, we decided that everything is this is a real place. These are real people. They may be under this trance or spell or whatever it is, but they are real, and the stakes are real here.
Yeah. Oh, good to know that theory is currently out the window.
It's a good one though, because we, like I said, we talked about it too, of what if that's what's going on here.
Man, get me on as one of your writers. I think I have too many projects on hand to be writing a game, but regardless, I could find
Us
time.
as well, to be honest.
But yeah, I just now realized on my screen I should have written some like text in the speech box, but it's a bit late for that. I mean, I could add
I
something
think it looks
now.
great. I think you did a great job.
Yeah.
Maybe I could add like that it's an interview. I don't know. Future decisions. uh, like a lot of these questions have already been answered throughout like our conversations. So we already talked about like your inspiration with previous jobs and escape rooms. Was there any inspiration for the lore itself? Less
Yeah,
of
I
the
think
fact of the game, but more like
this is one that I kind of realized like really late in it. Well, to give you the sort of ground, whatever the setting, um, you know, a lot of these things were sort of designed in this like backwards order of like, you know, originally the game was a baking simulator. That was our first concept for it, and then we decided to make it more about the interactions with the customer rather than the interactions with the simulator. And so the baking sim got scrapped for post office because now, you know, you're interfacing with customers, you can see what they wrote in letters or have in packages, etc. It became much more about the people that way. And a much more text-based, like letters and things are easier content to add. So then, like, what if you miss a storyline? Well, they can't be gone forever, so we have to make it loop, etc. And so we're sort of reverse engineering this scenario of like, how do we explain why all of these things are happening the way they are, right?
Right.
But then, you know, there were broader, I don't know what to call them, like conceptual things of like, the people being forgetful and the fog and amnesia and all of these things that sort of cropped up over time, and I didn't really know why. Like I was writing these characters at the beginning, and coming up with their dialogue, and it was just interesting to me that they were all forgetful and foggy and all these things. But I think it came from, and I learned this much later on. It was inspired by my experience with my dad, who late in his life had a stroke, and so for the last 10 years of his life, he had this sort of foggy shroud that like hung over him. You know, he would forget things and he would tell the same stories and do the same things and not realize it. And so this environment and the essence of the whole lore, story, world, etc. of Letter Lost is sort of about entropy and slow like decay and trying to like hold on to your sense of self over time as it erodes away, because that was his experience.
Oh, that's so cool, actually. I really like how you guys reverse engineered the story. Like,
There's just so much of ourselves in the game. Like there are letters there's a series of letters from MP, and they're all recipes. Those are my dad's recipes.
so wait, those are actual recipes. Okay, I'm gonna have to write those ones down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there's just all sorts of things all throughout that are like little Easter eggs. Like, there's a line that Liv has where in one of the phase 2 chats, you can talk about how you're saving up your money for the final boss. And Liv's like, for the final boss? Because amongst our friends group, the gaming friends group, we'll always be like, I'm not going to buy that upgrade because I'm saving it for the final boss, meaning I'll never buy it for the entire playthrough, and then I'll end the game having never spent any money. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
So, like, we put that in as, like, an Easter egg for our friends, or, I mean, all sorts of little tidbits that are, like, that's a joke amongst all of us. And I think it's funny for other people, but it's also just very fun for us.
Oh yeah.
And Karnam itself is sort of an allegory for my hometown. I don't want to like name and shame it,
Yeah.
but my hometown is just like in this constant state of decay. And when I was born there, everyone still talked about like, oh, this place used to be great. and it went from like 150,000 population down to like I think it's broaching going below 70,000 now. I don't remember. I haven't looked
Oh,
in a while.
wow.
But it's just bleeding out slowly.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the stories on the news and that Liv will tell you are actual, like, they're adapted to be fantastical, but they are actual stories that happened in my hometown. Like Liv tells a story about the town slogan. Like that is a story from my hometown where the city council asked high schools to come up with a new slogan, and the original one was "We like it here," and the winning vote was "We live here," and they didn't change it to that, but you know that was an actual story.
Man, they should have changed it to that, because that's a peak slogan, honestly.
Yep.
So there's actually like multiple drownings then?
Oh no, there's no. We have a lake, I guess, but there's no. None of that is from my hometown. It's more sort of the quirky like stories about the town being in decline. Like
Yeah.
those are all stories from my hometown.
Yeah. I figured the drownings is related to actual, like, in the... what is her name?
Oh, Sedna.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I've died to her hands before, so... I think I did it on stream too. Yeah, I did do it on stream, because I just froze up and I was like... What? I mean, I knew something was gonna happen, because I intentionally avoided help, because I was like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, you gotta know.
Definitely was not what I was expecting. I
Liv
was
said you couldn't die, so you gotta
Yeah.
put it to the test, you know?
True. Gotta test that. Gotta jump in the shredder again. For the third time this week. That is another thing I noticed. You can't just jump in the shredder over and over again on the same day. Is that like balancing for the sanity thing?
I don't know actually. I don't know how that became a thing. I guess we wanted it to be we didn't want it to be a space that you could just like explore easily
Right.
and retain some of that like mystery. It started off as just like a funny Easter egg of like something you could explore. But no, it's involved in upcoming content.
This is
Quite
how I actually got
heavily.
into starting to do programming for the game, because the team was like, Christine, you're an agent of chaos. I think that you would love to set up the Shredder dimension. And I was like, oh, I know more. Let me in there. So that was the beginning.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, she built that zone from scratch. Just like designed the whole thing and set it up. It's so cool with like the spouts of items like shooting up everywhere, and what does it mean, and all this stuff. And another fun tidbit is she actually hid all of the items from Liv's past. So it was like Liv herself was hiding the things in the post office.
That's so cool. Actually, I love that. Hey, could
That
you
is
tell me
true, I
where
never
all of them
thought
are?
of
Because
that.
I didn't find them all.
You'll never know.
Oh, come on. Man, I knew that was going to be the answer, but...
Someone made a guide actually, like a really comprehensive
that's true.
and good guide on it on Steam. So if you want to know, you can find it there. But
I
we're
did
sort of
see
just
that,
letting people do that themselves.
but... Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, you know what? If I... that might unintentionally spoil something for me if I go through that. And also, it's not the same. It's like
Yeah.
finding it.
It's true. The
It's-
journey is this game is a journey game, not a destination game.
Very true, very true. Fighting that part long. I just start looking very carefully, Toaster says. Yeah. So what, like, besides, escape rooms, was there anything else that got you, like, starting making this game? Was there anything that, like, pushed you to?
one part was you finding Outer Wilds, Christine. Do you want to talk about that?
I just thought Outer Wilds was such an incredible experience of self-exploration and, again, journey versus the destination. I mean, the ending was so beautiful, but like just that feeling of sandbox and waking up and thinking, well, I could go anywhere or do anything right now. What am I going to do? And pulling on threads and trying different things. Obviously, the timeline of our game versus Outer Wilds is very different. The goals are different, but I was just really inspired by that gameplay loop and how different it was, and also how much it just gave the player agency. Our game, to some people's dismay, doesn't hold your hand very often. It
does it at all?
well, once in a while Liv gives a tutorial, but it requires that you read it, There's no quest guide, and there's a notebook. But let me tell you, that notebook got added about 2 weeks before launch. So, you guys are lucky you got a notebook because, it almost wasn't there. So, the game expects you to read, and the game expects you to experiment, and the game is not going to push you in a direction. Now, that does require that we have breadcrumbs, and for things that we found that the breadcrumb wasn't strong enough to lead you down a path, we've made adjustments and we've made it clearer. So it's not like I want to leave the players out to dry or anything, but I'm like, you guys are smart. You're smart. It's a game. There will be guides. I mean, I understand it's harder right now because there aren't right now, but it's like, I think so many games and gamers expect this very systematic help system to get you through games, and I'm like, let's remember the joy of not knowing everything, of everything not being solved, of things still being mysterious, because I think that we've forgotten that part.
Yeah, I love that aspect of that's where I took the Dark Souls inspiration. Was I played a lot of Dark Souls on the cruise ship where I didn't have access to internet. And so getting to learn how the game is trying to communicate with me without being able to go, screw it, I'll just look it up. That was such a cool meta experience of playing a game. And I miss those days so much of not knowing everything. And I think it's the golden period right now of playing this game where you can't just look everything up easily. Stuff is coming out now and people are finding things. If you really want to find it, you can probably find it. But there's still stuff that people haven't found in the game and things that people haven't discovered how to do. There's upcoming content and whatever else. So just I would really say try to be in conversation with the game, because it's trying to tell you things, but it's up to you, the player, whether or not you want to listen to it or do your own thing. Or maybe the point is to not listen to it with Indrik, right? Don't listen to the game when it's telling you just do the mail. I just find that really, really fascinating, and watching how people navigate it is really interesting too.
Time to go read all the books that you guys have. There are a lot of books in the game too, which does make me wonder, do you guys enjoy reading a lot, or?
I'm a very avid reader.
I figured. I was like, you got a bunch of really good books in here. There's no way you don't like reading.
I think we just also love classic literature and I don't know, just the way we both really believe in the many ways that art can make you feel things. And especially mediums that are a little less obvious. So theater is a medium like that. I think a lot of people think what theater and musical theater is. They have something in their mind about what that is. And don't get me wrong, Newsies is really fun. But there's a lot of different kind of theater out there that can create very unique and special experiences for people that are, I think, and it can blow people's minds because they're used to a different version of theater, and same with games. I think a lot of people who don't play games think of gaming as just, oh, well, I used to play Mario Kart and I know Call of Duty is a thing. And I'm like, oh, games can make you feel something. Games can tell a deep story. Games can change people's minds. Games can be social justice. Games can be subversive. Like all of these different things, I think that's super fascinating to us and fun to dig into. And especially to surprise people with. When someone goes into something and then, I mean, this happened to me when I was testing the end of the game. There's a moment in the game where there's this single line of dialogue that I actually had to tag our programmer wrote this one. And I was like, oh my God, dude. Are you making me feel something on my 16th hour of testing today? Like, I can't deal with this right now. Like, it was so just like heart-wrenching. And so I think that's so fun.
There's gonna be a heart-wrenching dialogue. Okay, be prepared for it.
I know, like a tear shall come to your eye. Oh my god.
Boy. Oh boy. Hey chat, you hear that? I play this game, I'm gonna cry on stream. But yeah, I definitely agree with that. Art definitely tells things. I mean, there's certain art that I look at and I'm just like, ah, that's so cute! Oh my goodness, that's so cute! You know, it just gave full cuteness aggression. I just wanna, I wanna squeeze it. And then there's other things that, you know, have got, like, it's the reason why in a lot of World War II war promotional stuff, there's a lot of art. Because it makes you feel things.
Intense, yeah, an intense period of time, and a lot of stories in that time period can like really compel us. And so I just think that, you know, books are a little bit more of an obvious path to that, but we really like writing and books. Obviously, the game would not be so narrative heavy if we didn't like writing.
I can tell.
But even like the power of music in the game and the things Harrison did with like the ambient music that happens down in the post office versus the very eerie music that happens up in the bedroom, like those are extremely deliberate choices. And they tell a story about where you should feel at peace and where you should not feel at peace. And in Liv's dialogue and all of these different things, like a lot of it is not obvious, but almost all of it is on purpose. I say almost all of it because every once in a while it's like, that is a limitation and that's why it's like that. But for the most part, things are, you know, on purpose, and you're not necessarily supposed to know as the player. It's the thing that kind of seeps into your consciousness.
Right, yeah. So you mentioned you like classic literature a lot. Is there any specifics? Like your favorite?
You know, I just like a lot of different kind of books. I really liked Faulkner growing up. I really liked Jean-Paul Sartre growing up. I think I really like philosopher writers who write fiction a lot, like Sartre. I don't know. I think there's so much to be gleaned from so many different authors and styles of writing that I'm very much like I'll just give anything a shot, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, I turn around, I've got my entire bookshelf behind me. I mean, my mythology shelf, fantasy, historical, fact. I've got a few books, just a couple, and that's not even counting the books I have digitally. So, yeah, I totally get like just trying a little of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do too. And there was I was given an anonymous question, and I thought it was a very interesting question. So, I would love to hear like if you guys are willing to give a take on it.
Sure.
What are you guys' thoughts on AI and the use of it?
Welcome to my TED Talk.
Yeah. How much time do we have?
Go on about it as long as you like. We got a few hours.
Drop it. No. We don't use it whatsoever. We will never use it whatsoever, knowingly. Anytime we have any fans or anyone submit anything, we make them say like they didn't use AI. Even in like we just sent out asking for bios that are 100 characters long. We made the people say, don't use AI.
Yep.
Did you have more to add to that, Christine?
Oh, it's just like an absolute poison on the earth, like from a literal and
Yes.
metaphorical standpoint. And it doesn't matter what short-term shortcuts it might make. It's a long-term scourge, and we are giving up our humanity for what? For capitalism. So anyways, we're really passionately against it. Every single one of us could write a lengthy essay. So
I could as well.
and I think
so.
that the important thing for us is that like we're very upfront about it, and we are very loud about it, and a lot of gamers, it's a really high priority, and that's
yeah.
what I try to take solace in, is that I think we are taught or told by the forces that be that well, this is just the way of it, nobody cares, and just like get on board. But our observation has been that most people are as vitriolic about it as we are, and that means it is worthwhile to continue doing the human work, to continue doing it slow and perhaps sometimes harder. It'd be a lot easier to put our 200,000 words through an AI spell check and get all those typos out, but we think the players are willing to see a typo every 2,000 words and see it get fixed, and like we're all gonna live, and that's just our philosophy on it.
Absolutely, 100%. So funny, Jay, you came in on the AI talk. That
I think it makes me, in addition to everything Christine just said, it makes me the saddest because like I think it now, because of its prevalence, it now puts everything that anyone does through a lens that you have to look at. Like I can't look at any game or art or music or anything without being like, oh, is it AI? I can't just enjoy something anymore. I have to think about, can I enjoy it or should I enjoy it? You know what I mean? And I think that's a good space to be in. I'm not going to criticize that, but I'm angry that it created an environment where I have to think about that. And we've gotten a lot of comments of like on trailers or videos being, because Christine uses this very sing-songy like telephone voice, and people are like, oh, that's an AI voice, I'm not buying
People
this
think
game.
I'm AI.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
We're like, I
that's
assure
actually
you,
insane.
she's not. So it's just irritating. It's like we have this really strong stance on it, and I want other people to have that strong stance.
Oh yeah.
But it puts us at enemies with each other because of this like thing in the middle that we have to give this attention to. We can't just exist in the space anymore. We have to be vigilant and watch out for things and be wary. Unfortunately, we can't just trust people,
Right, yeah. I was like, as someone who like, I know there are people who, if I play something, they're gonna want to play that too. So I have to be very careful to make sure that everything I play, doesn't use AI.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's
I'm
a
not.
stewardship.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
You know?
I'm not gonna play
And-
Nevinus Devinus. I'm sorry, they used AI and then lied about it. Like,
And that's
even
where,
just like if they were honest at least.
Yeah.
When we sourced many assets, or like many of the assets are created by artists, many of them are sourced from other artists, but none of them are AI. But like, we did not handcraft every asset in this game. That is so out of the scope of our game capability.
Oh yeah.
But everything we sourced from others, we had to painstakingly make sure that none of it was AI, and ensure that we could make that promise when we launched the game. And it is just very pervasive and difficult, and there's a lot of lying about it, and I think there's a lot of gaslighting about it too, because a lot of companies that don't really want to own up to it will say things like, well, I mean, your spell check is AI, and I'm like, that is not the same. Like your Word document spell check that's been around for decades, we are talking about two different things right now, and you're not having an honest conversation if you're
Yeah.
trying to write that off as the same as generating all your concept art or whatever it is. And so I just also don't like the dishonest conversations about it.
And technically, spell check is more of an algorithm. It's based
Right,
off
well, the
of
difference
what
is-
you see.
Yeah.
Yeah. AI versus generative AI, and even things
Mhm.
like closed training systems versus not closed training systems, like Adobe uses closed training systems. There's still issues with it, but it's like these are not all the same exact thing. Your spell check versus Claude, they're not the same, you know?
They're
It
extremely
upsets me that
different.
I can't even make jokes about it anymore. Like this game is a testament to the fact that I can't take anything 100% seriously. Like I really tried to, and then the riddle mole showed up one day, and I was like, oh shoot, I wrote the riddle mole, ah, and so I joke a lot about like people would point at there's like funny art in the staircase, and say like, oh, that's a weird piece of art, that's probably AI. And those paintings are all sourced from books and magazines that Christine found from the 17 and 1800s, and they are not AI. And
They're just
so,
weird because people
yeah, they're
are
just weird. And so I made a joke on a couple streams and said, no, they're actually sourced from the 17 or 1800s. I did not confirm with the authors or I didn't confirm with the artists that they didn't use AI, but I trust them. And I got like flamed for it. And I was like, guys, come on. Like,
Huh?
they're from the 1800s. They
they
didn't use
did
AI.
not.
But I
They
won't
didn't even
make
have
that joke
internet.
anymore.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I won't make the
that's a
joke
funny
anymore because we
joke.
can't do anything fun.
Because that's another moral issue, like the fact that everyone takes everything so seriously. And because
Yeah.
in my opinion, that's a hilarious joke. I mean,
Thank you.
like,
I appreciate that.
I'm gonna save that one for later, kind of funny. In fact, if my chat ever asks, I will say, oh, so technically they couldn't exactly, like, check it with the 1800s artist, but it's from the 1800s, so.
I've been saying I keep asking their agents, but their agents aren't responding. That's how I've adapted it.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, we go world reset button to go back to 2010 or something. No, we're gonna have to go further back, Legacy.
Yeah, that gives us like 5 years if we go back to 2010.
10 years till AI, I'd say. 5 years till the world starts just kind of falling apart. Yeah. Man, I miss 2015.
The before times.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good year and a half. Oh. Now years just like what month is it? It's June now?
July.
Oh, yeah, it's almost July. Time's flying by. It felt so much slower.
So
Is
you've
that
got the,
like
you've
just
got the
me,
fog.
or-
You're living on Carnum.
Oh no! No, it's Carnum!
Yep. See, I think everyone can relate to that sense, right? Of like,
Mhm.
what even is time? You know, it's like this weird construct. It exists, but we can't prove it. But obviously, it exists, and all these things like just sort of roll into this very human experience of trying to retain your sense of self over the course of time, whether it's moving or not.
Yeah. And to answer your question, Legacy, you'd have to go way back, because... So, here's the thing. Before something is released to the public, that is, what was it, 50 years before? The military has it. So just think about how long the military has had AI, just gonna throw that out there. And that means their current AI is way more advanced than what we have in the public. Just back on the AI thing, or, you know, this stuff, which is also another thing that I'm not going to get into because that's politics and I avoid politics, but yeah. You'd have to go pretty far back. Like, way far back. I don't know. What do you guys think? How far? You guys got any dates in mind?
The thing is, I think we're probably a little older than some of the. I don't know. We're a little bit older, and so I often think about 2010, 2015, and I actually wouldn't go back to 2010 or 2015, and just because I think that like there is something joyous and wonderful in every time period, and I'm not saying we're not in like a very intense time, but there are some pretty stinky things in those times too that have gotten a lot better in 15 years, and there are some things that have gotten worse, but like all you can be is in the moment, and that's because I'm
Very true.
Buddhist. So
Very true. Corporations would have that before the military on the AI note. Actually, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what the military gets before even corporations. Ooh, what's the next question? Hang on, I changed what I was looking at on my phone, so I have to pull it back up because I only have one monitor. Sorry, I have two monitors, but like one I have my model up and I'm watching that, and that's so I can move myself around on my screen. Yay, I can dance. And the other is chat, and I can't get rid of chat because you guys would either go on strike or attack me, and I don't want either. Let me see. Where did you go? Oh, so this question is actually a little more specific to a lot of my theorizing. So it's not necessarily gonna apply to all of chat, but did you guys take inspiration from any mythologies? If so, which ones and what pipes?
Like specific mythologies, it's hard to pinpoint because I think, I guess to sort of loop in the classic literature question, like I was a big fan of like Greek mythology and the Iliad and the Odyssey. I just devoured those in high school. I loved those books, and Shakespeare and all these things. You know, they dealt really heavily in mythology as well. So all of those are part of my like love of stories and narrative and world building, etc. So I'm sure there's something in there, but like sitting down and saying, oh, I want to take this aspect from this or that aspect from that, I don't recall that ever happening literally. Obviously there's some like cosmic horror elements that came from that, but that's a pretty broad, like I haven't actually like ever sat down and read like a Lovecraft book or something like that, you know. So
Right.
none of that came from that. But yeah, I mean, I think there's probably little bits and pieces from places, but nothing that I specifically sought out to say, this is from that, you know.
So scratch the all-seeing eye theory. All right.
I mean, it's probably in there somewhere. I don't know. Like, and I wasn't the only one that was involved in writing. Like, we had several other contracted writers, and then the two other full-time devs did a lot of writing too. So I'm sure somewhere in there, it's in there.
Fair enough. My whole all-seeing eye theory started out with, like, when I found out that, well, first I saw the stamp, I'm like, huh, that looks almost identical to the ayin, which is the Hebrew letter, and it is equated to the all-seeing eye. However, they are different. But then, I saw, like, that we were in Westvale, and I was like, oh, maybe there's more to this than I thought, you know, but maybe it's just like the fact that you're being watched is just kind of pointing towards that. Like, there's something watching us. Whether that is Indrik, which we know, I've shown chat a lot, all in, like, almost every poster. All of them except the Employee of the Month, if I remember correctly. All the posters downstairs. Which, the Employee of the Month one is throwing me off so often. I'd love a little more information on that.
That's a lot of Easter eggs actually. So we held a live escape room experience at PAX and DreamHack, and we had a grand prize, and one of the rewards for the grand prize was our artist Bailey would draw up a character of your choice and put them on the Employee of the Week. So Hazel is someone's cat who won the grand prize.
Aww.
There's some other characters on there too. I don't want to
There's,
name specific people,
Yeah.
but my dad is on there. So Larry is my dad.
oh wow,
Um,
that's so cool.
Yeah, he passed away earlier this year,
Aw.
and so they surprised me with the drawing of him, and now he's Employee of the Week.
That's so sweet. I love that. So no theories behind that one, okay?
No, no overarching lore there, other than it's just this sense of timelessness of why does it change and who are these people, and I think it kind of contributes to the thoughts of we all are part of this post office somehow in a way or another in this timeless way.
Yeah. It's so sweet. That's actually really sweet. I love that. Get so happy every time you see. Hello. Yeah, the Employee of the Month is such a sweet aspect, and it's really fun. I think oh, I got a response from my doctor. I think it's it's really fun. it's a fun aspect. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Sorry. My doctor responded to me, about some of my health stuff, because I do have a few breathing issues that I've been trying to navigate. And potentially cardiac related. So he was telling me some of the steps that I'm gonna need to take forward, and including a CT scan.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sorry, that's totally off topic though. I just had to read that real quick. So where were we? I completely lost my train of thought with that.
All good. We probably have to run in the next 15 minutes or so. We've got to get back to work. We're pushing a patch tomorrow, so we got to get back into playtesting.
Ooh, yeah. Good luck with that one. Do you guys have anything you want to ask me as a player?
Oh, that's a good question. Any thoughts, Christine? I almost called you Liv. I don't know. I've never almost called you Liv. I almost called you Liv right there.
That is really funny.
And I'm kind of putting you on the spot here.
Yeah.
When was the first time in the game that you felt like, something isn't quite right here?
Ooh, well, waking up in a jail cell kind of from the get-go really threw me off,
I
but
mean,
then
there's no dungeon though, so I don't know.
when I went to when I went out, almost after the dialogue with the Lev, almost immediately I saw the letter on top of the chandelier, and I looked at it and I'm like, oh, very interesting. So I think that's really when I got, oh, there is something off about this. Like,
Mhm.
something is not adding up. And so really from the get-go, I had an idea about the time loop. I didn't know to the extent until I experienced it, but definitely had an idea.
I'm trying to think of well, I guess I think we found it very interesting to have I guess speaking in broad terms here, there's not really spoilers. This happens in the first like, you know, 20 things going on. But or 20 minutes rather. Indrik coming in and he's creepy, but he's saying we got to get you out of here sort of deal. I found it really fascinating that like the person who at that point in time presumably is trapping you here, Liv, is nice and cheery and bubbly, and the person who's saying we can escape is like creepy. How was that juxtaposition? How did you perceive that the first time that you had it happen?
So, I'll be honest, like, right from the get-go, I was like, okay. The lights are going out, and, like, fun fact, at that point, I actually hadn't turned off the light to sleep. It was, like, that night. No, wait, no. That was the very night I turned off the lights to sleep the first time. So I'm like, oh. In fact, I actually thought it was related to the fact that I turned off the lights.
Oh, you thought you summoned him.
Yeah, I thought I thought it was.
That's fun.
But I was like, that's the he had the exact same, because he has that very distinct silhouette. I was like, no, that's I don't exactly want to follow him, but also he's got the right idea. Like, I do want to escape at the same time. So I was like, decided, to play along. Because, I didn't actually consider the fact that Liv had a bubbly personality. I just thought it was very similar to my customer service attitude, which I'm actually using currently.
Yeah.
Because if I were to switch into my regular attitude, everyone would think I'm depressed and can't exactly have that, So my initial reaction, like, I, from the get-go, like, had a feeling Liv was not the top of the chain kind of thing, if that makes sense. I was like, there's definitely something more to this. The thing is, though, I'm very good at, like, picking up on things like that in stories.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if, like, my theories make that, like, if that's shown in any of the theories I've mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, I will notice this isn't, like, making sense, if that makes sense. So I will say I still don't trust Indrik, and I'm liking Liv more and more.
I'm honored.
I'm eager to, some of the content we're going to release deals very heavily with Indrik and finding out more about who he is and what he wants, and his story is very fascinating to me. His inspiration comes from, I guess this answers your question from before. I forgot about this. His character comes from some urban legends, because I am really interested in a lot of like urban legends, right? So the sleep paralysis Hat Man, like there's a lot of stories of people when they have sleep paralysis and wake up, they see a man in a hat standing in the shadows. And so that's his design, is to look like that. And he also does that to you in the game.
Yeah.
If you turn off the lights. But the other inspiration is a character from the Mothman urban legend. If you've ever read into that, there's a character who's named Indrid, Indrid Cold, is the character name, and this character, his motives are unclear. His everything about him is very unclear, but he sort of shows up at these like pivotal moments throughout history, and yeah, it's a really fascinating character that like I don't know, you just read more about him and you'll learn more
Yeah.
about why Indrik is the way he is in our game versus Indrid in the Mothman and beyond.
Yeah.
It's just really interesting to me.
I've always felt like Indrik was some sort of chaotic voice who just wants to cause chaos and
Hmm.
wants to see, like, the reason, my thoughts why he wants to push the system. You know, he wants to see what happens. He wants to see something different. You know, also why he's done. I can't remember where I hear this. This might be spoilers for chat. I can't remember. But like, I remember hearing about in the news. It was in the news. Oh yeah. Somebody got pushed off of a building, and they could just see man with hat. I'm like, that's definitely Indrik. He wants to
As a
change
small
things
tease,
up. Yeah.
Indrik appears on the three fully voiced radio channel. Indrik appears in all three of them at some point.
Oh, that's actually kind of
So
interesting.
you'll have to go and see, and actually that news story is then talked about the next day on the psychic radio. Whenever they say like the man was pushed off the building or whatever, they talk about it on psychic radio too.
Oh.
And it's a character from day one of psychic radio who then like has a run-in with Indrik and then is pushed off, and then it's pretty cool how they sort of
That's
like
so
cross-pollinate
interesting.
between each other. Yeah.
The thing I remember from the psychic radio is like the last episode when everyone died.
Did they?
Well, no, not exactly dying, but
Hmm.
you know, like
Harrison's being coy right now.
I know.
It sure sounds like it. But if
Something
you
was
listen
summoned.
to
That's for sure.
day 6, day 6 on the psychic radio, this is a small spoiler, so, and it's inconsequential for the game, but I just put it in here because it's fun. So day 5 is you hear that everything happened there. I won't spoil that. It sounds like they die, and then day 6 is all static, except for like
remember, it's
really
static.
crackly voices throughout, and then at the very last second, you hear Scarlet say, "Help," and then it cuts off.
Oh, that's so cool. So is there a storyline where I could actually help them?
Maybe someday we might.
Okay, so not out yet.
No.
Okay.
Not planned, not out. It's just, the way we designed, we like to leave a lot of like open doors that are just like, I mean, we could make a storyline about helping Scarlet, or we're going to evolve Indrik's story more with content that's upcoming. There's a lot of mentions of the sourdough bakery, and so there's fertile ground there.
I think
yeah,
even
it's
Liv
just-
mentioned that, and talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
like the infinite bread thing.
A lot of doors that we could go down.
It also leaves a lot for fan fictions.
That's right.
I'm just saying, this game's like the perfect game to make fan fictions about.
Yeah,
If-
and nothing we've written so far has been like, I don't think that fits, or there isn't a way to make it fit.
Right.
Everything fits to some degree. There's a way to make it work, and yeah, we really want to just see what people do in the space too, and just have fun.
Yeah. I love that.
Infinite possibilities,
So, you said you guys have to go soon. So I'll finish this out for y'all. Is there anything you wanna like talk about? Announce? Anything?
I don't think so. It's just appreciate you having us on. It was it's been
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. We just really, really enjoy getting to interact with the community and see all of you get to experience things and whatever else. And we're just really excited to show you what else we've got coming up, but we can't announce anything yet. But there's stuff in the pipeline.
Ooh. So I'm gonna send this. There you go. So chat. There's the letter lost. Link. So if you guys want to play it yourself. And thank you guys both for having us on. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is the first game I've ever played, and I play a lot of games, especially a lot of indie games, because they're more likely to not have AI. Going back to that.
Mhm.
And this is definitely the first one that, like, the developers have been so engaged with the community as, like, you guys. And, like, I did not dream of having an interview with the developers when I first started playing the game, much less when I first started streaming. How long ago was it? 4 years ago? So yeah.
Well, we're so happy to be here, and we're glad that you invited us along.
Yeah. I'm so
It's
glad.
this kind of this barrier that I feel like is artificial between fans and players that we in our theater work we work to erode that and like just be able to look eye to eye with people after our shows, and it's a really important part of our theater marketing. So,
Absolutely.
it's a really important part here too.
Right, yeah. It's so
And then the
sweet.
last thing I would say to answer your question is go review every indie game that you own right now. Like, don't wait. It helps indies so much.
It's so
Just go down your
incredible.
list and review every indie game you know, because it's so important on Steam and it's such an easy, free way to help them and help promote them. And it's so hard to do. Like that. To pull back a previous question, what's your least favorite part of the job? And it's just like trying to herd cats and get them to click a button that would help you so much. Like people that I've been friends with for years who are like, yeah, I'll get around to it. It's like, no, you have to do it right now. Go
Right.
pull up your library, pull up every indie game that you own, and it would take you 30 seconds per game to help them so much. Like, you don't even understand how much it helps.
And the fewer reviews that a game has, the bigger impact it has. So
Yeah.
it's completely changed how I look at indie games or review indie games and whatnot, because it is extremely helpful to small games and can change visibility, can change, I mean, just everything. So
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I left a review for Letter Lost. Now I'm. No, wait. I tried to leave a review before it was released. You know, when I was.
Yep,
Because I was
couldn't do it
got
yet.
it ahead of time and all.
Yep.
And then.
And the biggest thing.
Guess I forgot.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then I guess I forgot. I'll just make sure I do that. Write it down now.
The biggest thing that it does is it helps minimize the voices of the people who their voices maybe should not be heard as much. We've gotten some reviews from people that are just like, ugh, I really
Oh my goodness, I've seen a few of those.
dislike that you have a voice in this.
and obviously some reviews are like totally valid. This isn't about like
yeah.
invalidating, but as you've probably seen, there are some reviews that are like, you should not get to have a platform to say that because that's racist or homophobic or whatever. And we want to do everything we can to be like, let's drown that out because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, people who have views like that often become the loudest. And if someone just likes a game, that we're not like inclined to leave the review if we're like, yeah, I liked it. But somehow if you're racist, it's like, I have to let everyone know.
We have a couple of those reviews, and every positive review just like further buries that review. It's free to do. Please, if you take anything away from this interview at all, like, ignore me, ignore our game, go
Don't
review
ignore
everything
me.
else. Yeah.
I'm your boss.
I'm not saying it to shill for my own project. I'm saying it to like advocate for all indie games, that tiny button press and just type "I loved this game" or whatever helps them immensely, more than you could know.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand that. I'll make sure I do that.
For
Before
sure.
the end
And
of
I need
today.
to do it myself. Like I'm not innocent here too. I have so many games I could go review right now, and I will.
Yeah. On your comment about some of the reviews you've had, because I've gone and looked through the reviews a few times, like just saying, what do people like about this game? And I've seen a few I just look at it, I'm like, that wasn't the intent of the game. You're acting like it's such
Yeah.
a bad thing that it's not just a letter simulator.
It's interesting,
There was
right?
a specific
It is
one I'm thinking of.
It says right there, it's narrative, its choices matter, it's story heavy, and then to be like, yeah, I don't want to read. It's like,
Too
okay,
much reading.
well,
Like,
yeah,
okay.
or too much talking. Like, well, I don't know how to help
I
you then.
hate
I'm
talking.
sorry, but that's fine. Those
Ugh.
people, like, by all means, they can have an opinion. I'm not offended by
Yeah.
it in any way.
Yeah, the
It
game's not for
confuses
them.
me.
You know.
It confuses
It
me why
confused
you
me
would take
too.
the time to leave a negative review, but it's the other people that
Yeah.
say kind of nasty things that are like, I don't want to get into it too much, but yeah, bury those people with your positive reviews in games.
Spread positivity.
That's right.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on and chatting with me. And yeah, chat, you heard that. Go write a review for every indie game you have. And also play Letter Lost. It's so fun. They work so hard on it. How long did you guys spend working on this? Like how many years?
Full-time development about 2 years, but the concepting before that was about 6 months. So 2.5 years about.
Genuinely shorter than I expected. Which
Somehow, right? Yet longer, mentally longer. I feel like I've been trapped in the post office for a decade at this point.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining. It was so much fun.
Absolutely.
Anytime. You know how
Happy
to get hold of
mailing.
us.
Have fun in the
Yes.
post office.
And we'll see you at work.
Oh yeah. Good luck with the patch tomorrow.
Thank you.
you.
Bye.
And have a good
All
rest
right,
of your
we'll see you
stream.
next time.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
That was so fun. Hang on, let me. Boop. Okay. There you go. Did you guys like the interview chat? You guys enjoy that? I know it's a little different than my usual content, but I think talking with the developers, that was awesome. I'm so glad you guys liked it. It was really fun. I'll make sure I write that review after stream. But now I've got another 2 hours to kill, so we're gonna actually play Letter Lost. Because why not, you know? Yeah. Thank you, Harrison, for joining us. So fun. As I said, like, not every day that I get to talk with developers. I should do more interviews. Oh, maybe I should. Liv is also, is Liv your boss in the game? Yes, actually, Liv is the boss in the game. Yeah. Let me switch. Oops. Right. Beep. There you go. This was the stream save. I'll definitely do more interviews. I was thinking of doing like little tea times, so that's when I hang out with another person and like we just talk about specific things, like how I was talking about Letter Lost to the developers today. So I think that's something I'm gonna be doing, and I think Tea Time is such a fun name because like Duchess and Faith thematic. But yeah, we're gonna load, and we're gonna play Letter Last. Because why? What else do you do after talking to the developers? I forgot this save. I have so many oh my goodness. What am I trying? Why do I have so many patches? Oh, okay. So I can actually finish this one, so what we're gonna do, chat? Okay. Did I mail those ones out? Let me press. Nope. Where was it? I know what I'm doing. 2. In my notebook. Okay, so I have both. Alright. So I can show you guys how to complete this. Oh good, I have the normal light bulb in there. Okay, so it's this thing. Okay, that's what this one is. Okay. So Sana. Oops. So Sana is downward because under the freezer gloves. So on. Oops. So under the freezer, on. What is it? T. Birds need to go up. So the pigeon house goes up. Community garden keep off the grass. Okay, for that perfect. Over. So I flip it over. Penthouse towards the top. Weight room towards the bottom, so facing down. And then nursery separate to keep volume down. Okay, then we flip this. Yes, we got a key and that. So now Miss Fortune's floor. Now I don't need to answer that. So we pull out a key. Boop, boop. The elevator key. And now we unlock the door, right? And do you guys know what Miss Fortune's floor in an elevator is? It's floor 13. And then we go press down. And we wait. Also, nice, thanks Dingleberry for getting first. So here's Amara. My mother sent you to find me, didn't she? Amara, is that you? Someone found me at last. Well, what's left of me, at least. What happened to you? I became very ill as a young girl, and my mother grew more and more fearful of losing me as the years went on. In her desperation, she found a doctor who claimed to have a miracle cure that could save me. You're rather well-spoken for being a little girl. Little girl? I've been stuck like this for decades now, I think. Why'd you run away? I've been nothing but a burden for my mother since this happened to me. Every time she sees me, she's reminded of the choices she made out of desperation. So I left, hoping she could move on with her life and finally be at peace. And now that you're here, you can send me even further away from her. I've had enough talking from you. I'm taking you back to your mother. Wait, before you decide to do that, let me ask you a favor of you. My mother has suffered enough. Let her move on. I want you to mail me somewhere far away. Would I get fired for doing something like this? Can you even be fired? Of course I can. Never mind, forget I asked. How would this work? Well, I have an idea. What if you put me in a package, stamp me as a return to sender, then mail me through the pneumatic tube? Where would the system even send me? There's no way they could track me. Alright, I'll do it. Let's get you back down to the mailroom. Thank you, you're doing a kind thing. So, then, pull 1, back up. Ah, thank you for the love. Big love. Right, now, and That was weird. Now. Okay, hear me out. It's time to start packaging. Why is some of the more options out of stock, like this Technoblade Spanish? Because those, I just don't have them on. So that was the letter from Mara. So I can call Mara's mom. Whatever. So I think I kind of want to shred her, but I'm not gonna. What's your phone number? 2943. 2943. Are you here at the post office with me? Where is she? Did you find Amara? It was quite the journey, but I managed to find where she was hiding. Oh, thank heavens. You have no idea how thankful we are to have your help. Here she is, but you have a lot of explaining to do. What is this? What did you just hand me? You told me that you found Amara. What are you saying? This doll is Amara. I don't understand, but this is just a doll. Did she have this with her? What do you mean? This isn't just a doll. This is your daughter. You were scared and you put on a doll to save her. I understand. What are you saying? Amara is a doll? That's not possible. Well, if you don't want her, can I have her back then? Monster! Don't you dare ever attempt to contact me again. Good riddance. Okay, but whatever. Enjoy your daughter, I guess. Ooh, I'd have a trophy now, right? Maya's return resulted in a family healed by malice and bound by delusion. Whee. Only because I have to. And you know how to mail them as well? I may just shred it if I get bored. I'll deal with all this later. For now, we are gonna get Shelly. Because we talked about her. So, where is it? Kind of mile placement worker. Okay. And Wispale. We're gonna get my best friend. Oh.
Got an interesting update for you today, rookie. The worker placement union here on the island just reached out to me.
Oh, did they?
They said they were sent an application for a job here at the post office and want to send a candidate over in the morning.
Oh.
Would you happen to know anything about this?
No clue what you're talking about.
Mail has been known to spontaneously send itself from time to time. I'm sure you had nothing to do with it.
Nothing at all.
Tell you what, rookie, this gives me an interesting idea. I wonder if perhaps we've been pushing you too hard lately.
Oh, way too hard. Looks at the packages they're lying around.
It's a bit unconventional for us to bring on a second employee in one branch, but I think we should use this little mistake as a learning opportunity for you. Think of it as an investment in you as our permanent employee.
Thank you so much for this
Rookie,
opportunity.
You bring a tear to my eye. Your dedication to this job and to your own self-improvement is truly admirable.
Oh yes, I'm so dedicated to this job. Anyway,
I've already notified them to send their best candidate over in the morning, but I think we should take this opportunity to have you show her the ropes instead. Nothing like a little extra responsibility to jumpstart your growth as an employee, right?
It would be my honor to train her.
Wonderful. Such an eager postal worker. Like a dog.
Oh, come on, don't compare me to a
Your
dog.
new trainee is named Shelly, and she'll be there first thing in the morning to greet you. I'll do my best to remain hands-off, but I'll contact you if anything comes up. Good luck. Talk soon.
Shelly! I get to see Shelly. I get to see Shelly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to sleep. Let me 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 sleep. Wait, what? I can sleep? Huh?
I wonder how you'll feel when you beg someone for help and watch them do the opposite.
Was Shirley arriving in the morning or no? Because that was the end of the week. Hehehe. So chat. Ow. That's messes with my head when I look at it like that. There's no I in team. And another I, by the way. You failed kind of improve or face penance once more. I was in penance. The line is quite with disappointment. So disappointed in me. Yeah. Oh, Shelly isn't there. Oop. Wait, this character, I triggered this character coming. What did I do to trigger this character? Oh my goodness. Of such dread sees you in the absence of Liv's voice at the start of a week has been replaced by a robed figure who stands before you. After countless days of work, the gentle mundanity of sorting mail and wishing to be free of the routine that imprisons you, the sudden departure from your expectations feels like instead like a knife at your throat. Something has changed. Cardam has shifted. You must now deal with the consequences. Can I help you? I have a letter for you. I assumed considering you're at the post office. It's for you. Open it. Don't mail it. Do people in this town not understand how post office works? Just open now, Pillar. I don't answer to insults, thank you. Bah, read it or mayor death is on your head. See, it's calling me incompetent, so why should I read it? Like, I was also told by someone. Boop. Oh. Because we also mentioned this. The otter stone on this. Yep. Boop. Whee. Alright. Oops. Dear incompetent. I have a name, you know. It's Rookie. Does my character even remember their name? Anyway. Wheels within wheels, little fish. That's what you've trapped us in. We have your sharp-tongued companion, Dullard. Free us from this dang loop, or she dies for what you two have done to us. Write your answer. We left paper on your desk. Send it to Carmen Memorial. Okay, hold up. How'd they even manage to get in here, genuinely? I mean, to be fair, they managed to kidnap Liv, so maybe that has something to do with it, but, you know. Okay. Probably best to keep you alive. Please let go. None of this is her fault. No, the response made me cringe, but you know, it's the one they want. Carter Memorial on Dollar Hills. I wonder if I can still send this Now I'm curious. I wonder if like Liv will still call or whatever. Probably not, but I don't know. Bartimaeus. Oh yeah. So let me go through this. So I know the story on this. Yep. Package it. Oh. We've already talked to. Do you need Kitty? Okay. Just need to open. I can look in a few packages. I'm going to help her this time. Cause I don't care. Oh my goodness, a sword. Maces. I want to wield it. Can I wield the sword? Hang on. It's not working. Cause no time for idle chit-chat. Here's my mail. Do with it as you please. I'm sure all customers will like you. This town could learn to exercise some efficiency. They waste far too much time with their dilly-dallying. I'll leave you before I do the same. Goodbye. It's Gary. I don't remember you, but you look familiar for some reason. Yeah, I get that a lot. Maybe you just have one of those faces that looks strangely familiar. Sorry, I always get the creeps coming to this place. Puts me on edge, and then I start thinking I'm seeing things, sometimes hearing things. This place seems pretty normal to me. Yeah, at glance, nothing seems to be off, but it is weird to have a building with no door in or out of it, right? And sometimes I feel like I can remember what it looks like on the inside, but that can't be possible. It sounds ridiculous saying it out loud. Forget I even brought it up. I came here because why did I come here? Can't remember. Pay me $5? Ah, come on. No, that doesn't seem right. Oh, look, I'm holding a letter in my hand. I bet that's why. Sorry, I'm just feeling very groggy lately. Not sleeping well lately? No, sleeping is all I feel like I'm doing. I just feel so tired all the time. Maybe I'll see you again, I guess. Good to see you. Delayed payment. I hate this place. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, it's said now. How can I help you? Do you have something mail? Yep, we've already... today is a shopping day. Have you seen them? The clouds. Their bellies aren't full, but they hang low. For what I'm told, it's foggier most days. Today more so. The sea and clouds have made friends, so tightly walking through them is swimming. So makes sense I swim out now. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yes, forgive my speech is wandering. I am Sedna. I'm in need of aid. You give things to those that need them. I have this. A gift from an admirer. An admirer? Exciting. You can drop it through the slot. Exciting. Oh, maybe. They're so elusive, but our eyes have met twice or thrice. It does make my heart pace. Maybe exciting, yes. Oh, that's nice. They're like a tautog slipping between the kelp. Sometimes hard to know if you've truly seen them at all. But then, I am that way too. This gift will bring us closer to one another, to see each other more clearly. I do not know where I do not know where my admirer sleeps, but I know their heart True. They will follow my footfalls. You'll give it to them when they arrive? Of course, it's my job. Thank you, gift giver. I'll leave you before the sea returns to her bed. Do not open. Hello, my friend. I believe there's a package here for me. His name is Bartimaeus Carver. One moment, please, sir. Many thanks. I hope you'll excuse me, but it looks as though this package has been opened. I suppose you didn't sneak a peek. I sure did. I thought so. I should be angry, but truthfully, I cannot blame you. Curiosity is a powerful drug. I have to ask, did you try your hand at the secret message, the one my friend bookmarked? I did. That's what I like to hear. Postal work after my own heart. No hints, please. Give me just a moment to solve it on my own. Bartimaeus pulls the pamphlet from the package and opens it to the bookmarked page. He murmurs under his breath as he searches for the hidden message. Yes, I believe I have it. But I don't normally work this quickly, so I could be missing something. Tell me, what solution did you discover? What was it? I've written down. Let me see. Big yawn. We are the same. Yes, that was my conclusion as well. I found it as a great favor by identifying the strange page numbers and individual letters on the pages. If I'm quite honest, I was expecting more of a challenge. Why on earth did you find out this thing? Now, that is an excellent question. I'm afraid my dear friend declined to enlighten me on the specifics of this book's origin. If I were to hazard a guess, it seems like some kind of literature from an illicit organization she's investigating. What do you think of it, friend? I'm curious about the final page. Just sounds like nonsense. Can't argue with that, but I do trust my friend, and if she believes there's something of importance here, I'm inclined to believe her. But I digress. I should return home and inform my friend with a solution. Thank you for talking through it with me, even if you were just humoring an old man. Little crumbs of excitement are all that remain for a reformed glutton such as myself. You have a good day now. You too, Bartimaeus. Anything important? Nothing. Oh, hydrate. I don't have any water on me. Do not open.
Find his way upstairs. And now,
Need high quality
let's pop over
H2O.
to the sports and recreation news.
I do
Bert
need
Hannigan.
water.
Bert, are you there?
Yes, that must have been what I was sensing.
I heard whispers every night. How could I find them? My brothers heard them too.
The mayor. Hi there, good morning. I'm Monica Mandel, your very democratically elected mayor. It's a pleasure to meet you. How can I help you? Straight to the point, that's what I like to hear. Please, call me Monica. As I'm sure you're aware, the post office provides an essential service connecting, connecting the communities of our fine island, expanding the possibilities of both business and friendship. And it's because of your excellent work that I believe together we can take the postal service to the next level. Starting today, residents will be able to send mail anywhere in the world. Isn't that exciting? It sounds like a bunch of extra work. Not at all. The off-island mail is no more complicated than your average letter. I just realized I forgot to change the stream to game. Alright. Let's change. I forgot to do this. Stream game. Sorry, not title. And let me change the title. To devs. Interviewing devs went well. Now sorting mail. There we go. Lovely, lovely. You have one of those pneumatic tubes in there, right? You just pop any mail addressed off island into there instead of wherever it normally goes. Easy. I'm so excited about this. Thank you for asking. This is, of course, only the first phase of my multi-part plan to bolster business and happiness among my constituents. I have one word for you: tourism. Imagine the opportunities if we establish ourselves as a travel destination. It's just what we need to revitalize the economy. There we go. Not a terrible idea. Thank you. I'm so pleased you see the vision. Not everyone has been so open to such a bold new plan. Tell me, any more questions, comments, compliments? So will I need to receive me? I'll need a new stamp for the new region. Will you? I'm sure you'll figure it out. Thank you again for your service to this fine island. Talk soon. Go.
Was speaking to us very slowly, softly, telling us to close our eyes, sleep, forget.
I'm sensing your parents were frightened by this.
No, they were.
What could you possibly need, Matilda? Why, I will not be spoken in such a manner. Apologize immediately. Fine. Sorry, this place gets to me sometimes. I'll forgive it this once. Now, is service always this leisurely? Of course, fate would saddle me with the inept. There should be a package for me on the left. It's addressed to Matilda Blythe. Return promptly if you can't locate it. I detest sloth.
We're mostly using.
Anything? Sorry, there's nothing for you today. I suppose that's to be expected from such a ramshackle establishment. Here, this letter must be mailed promptly to my husband. It is of grave importance. Hopefully you're capable of the bare minimum your post requires. To the shredder this goes.
Upset that I set fire
Nah,
to
but
our basement.
Nice.
Let me. Do, 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 do. Festival Graves is reason.
I sensed a fire as well. Yes.
The whispers were telling us something. People were down there. We needed to perform some sort of ceremony to cleanse the house. I explained that it was an accident and that we were just trying to save the family.
Oops.
My brother denied it and blamed it all on me. And several years later, here I am, a professional furniture repair specialist. I don't even remember any of the trauma, and business is booming.
What an inspiring tale, David. For the listeners, that is, since I already knew it. What are you calling in about today? And how can I help you?
Oh, yes. Lately I have been struggling to remember where I live. I stayed in the wrong house for an entire week before the people living there remembered I wasn't part of.
Yep, we know him. Okay. Thanks. I'll stick with the radio.
Of their family. So when I eventually did get out,
I'll stop you right there.
Powerfully built woman walks towards the window. All tight and sinew muscle. Practically hear the strange strength in her hand as she sends a parcel through the slot. Hey, package send here. Name's Brielle Cowtell. You get a lot of people through here, right? People seems like a generous term. I'll take that as a yes. Have you seen anything strange lately? Plenty of strange. Strange, like people who don't belong here. People who seem like a fish out of water. Got all kinds of people in here. Anything that stands out to you? Did you read about the drowning last night? Drowning? What drowning? It's in the paper, though I guess the drowning on an island isn't that strange. No, that's great. Can I buy you a copy? Sure, let me go get it.
I know what you're asking, David, and I have good news. My sight is showing me a lot of things right now.
Here you go. Thanks, I owe you one. I'll be back in a couple days. If you see or hear anything else, let me know. Next time I'm here.
Bits and pieces of information that look like I feel so it really takes my time to ponder over them. I see clouds congregating over a single point on the island, surrounded by many, many rows of trees. I see an animal as well, maybe a fish or some sort of rodent, perhaps. It's calling to you. It's saying, find me, David, when the tide washes the roads away. Follow the wind,
Miss Vale.
or the
Daleth.
scent of lavender.
Daleth. Drag show.
Does that mean
Daleth.
anything to you,
Miss Vale.
David?
Oops. Daleth.
David?
Drag show.
Oh,
Daleth.
I forgot.
Drag show.
I hung up on him already.
Miss Vale.
Of course it means something to him, though.
Felchurch.
He'll be home in no time, I'm sure. And if he shows up at one of your homes, give him all of that information, and he'll be right on his way. That's all for today, friends. But come back tomorrow for more enlightenment here on U-Talk Radio, the only radio station on Carnam Isle where your voice matters, even though I already know what you're going to say.
Gonna stab.
Keep reflecting, and I'll speak with you tomorrow.
And. Right? I'm gonna throw this. Yeah, I know. As soon as the door opens, I'm gonna throw this at him. Ready, chat? No! I didn't throw the sword! Oops. Yeah. So, for that one, we wait and wait. What a totally normal book. What time is it? Once it reaches the 11 o'clock, I need to answer the door. Come on. Lights in the room shut off. Your mouth tastes like bloody sand. The ligaments of your legs feel locked in stone, and the smell of wretched death comes from behind the door in overwhelming waves. Your hand is frozen on the doorknob, and you hear breathless rumbling from behind. Answer correctly or perish. I am sealed, then cut, then discarded. I am a curse, a blessing, or something else. I can hold possibility, a beginning, or an end. What am I? An envelope. Yes, delicious. Another question then. Is this the riddle mole? I am faceless, shapeless, ever-changing. You will know me by one name, then 10, then 100. I curdle your stomach, clench your chest, and freeze your feet. What am I? Pain? Satisfying answer. Once more then, so I may illuminate you. I am a shadow the sun may not dispel. I am the death of dreams, the foe of progress, the bane of friendship, fellowship, and family. What am I? Ignorance. It's true, but it's a secret. Your eyes close of someone else's volition. The ripping and tearing feeling that comes after is beyond description. Its teeth are daggers, slender ones, thin ones, cuts beyond ceasing till everything else ceases. Your skin is unmarked, but your mind feels sliced to pieces. Whoa. Did I answer that wrong? Well, that's nice. It's Shelly! It's Shelly! Do something. Do I need to speak to you? So, where are you from? Can you hear me? Okay, I give up. Where'd she go? Oh! Chillin'. She's so sweet. Okay. Shelly, stop messing with the phone. Oh. Familiar sense of dread returns. The masked stranger is back, standing still and expectant. When you approach, they lift something rectangular and set it on the counter. Your first assumption, of course, is that you've been presented with a package, but you are taken aback when you see it is in fact a wire audio recorder. Listen. The masked strangers press a button. Flicks the switch, then strains as a familiar voice begins to play from the speaker.
Rookie, I have no idea what's going on, but some crazed locals took me prisoner. I don't even know how they found me. Look, I know we've had our occasional differences, but you have no idea how much danger we're in if this doesn't end immediately. Do not let them kill me. Talk to them. Fix this.
Now, make your choice. How could you do this? Please don't hurt her. Write a letter, same address, explain how we escape. So last time I told them that last time I told them how to escape. Liv is like us. She's stuck here too. Killing her won't help you escape. I just know it's not her fault. Please don't hurt her. Memorial Hospital. Okay. Shelly? Shelly?
You're pretty useless, huh? Can't even get a bunch of brain-dead idiots to listen to you.
Wait.
I think folks with so much in common wouldn't have trouble understanding each other. I'm getting out of here, no matter what it costs you.
What cost
I felt
me?
something reach out to me. An offer. I accepted. I'd apologize for what comes next, but honestly, you deserve it.
Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm just not answering. So
Hello, rookie. You're looking awfully rested this morning.
is the phone broken or something?
This fancy new power? It's just a fun side effect of being kidnapped and tortured and murdered. Honestly, I'm curious if we can replicate the results. You'd be the perfect test subject.
Tried to save
And
you.
look how that turned out. My expectations of you were low, but I thought you might be slightly more competent than you proved to be. I really should be thanking you for letting me die. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to connect with this place on this new level.
I'm
Oh,
really
you
sorry,
will be.
Liv.
Trust me, I'll make sure of it. You know, I enjoyed our relationship before. Throwing you wrinkles in the mailing process, keeping you on your toes. But now, I have so many creative new ways to break you. Enjoy your week, rookie. I'll make sure it's a fun one.
Package it. Put it over here. Requisition request. I've heard tell of a set of historical books only available for purchase through your little catalog. I'd be immensely interested in reading them. Call me if you are able to acquire and read them. Much is at stake. That's $500 a piece. That is $1,500. Oh. Just gonna work. Ow. Little Mall. Of course it's Little Mall. You're the weirdest supervillain I've ever heard of. To face the line. Oh, I should be reading this, shouldn't I? I really can't be bothered with this today. How are you deducting from my paycheck? Did Liv agree to this? That's so unfair. Do I get money for guessing correctly? Moles don't patent their prey, would you hear that? I can only be caught, but can never be thrown. What am I? A cold. He's actually saying correct! Your fingers just the most banks sink deep into your neck. Oh my goodness. This is so ridiculous. Have you ever actually even seen a mole? Second riddle. What can travel great distances without ever leaving its corner? That's something I don't know. A stamp. Seriously, you should change careers and write more fan fiction. Besides, the market for more fan fiction dried up years ago. Third riddle. I'm 2 in a corner, but 1 in a room, 0 in a house, but 1 in a shelter. What am I? 2 R's in corner, 1 in a room, none in house, 1 in shelter. Letter R. Okay, you can stop saying it. If you don't leave soon, you will actually put me to sleep. My goodness. Rather dramatic, don't you think? Okay. There's no PowerPoint on the floor. I'm greatly disappointed. Voice fail. Donald Hills. You know, I forgot this account has. What do you need? Yeah. Can look at a few packages. Then I open all the packages. And I package them back up. Scan. Ooh. Does tab work with these now? Stamp. Oh, I should be listening to the news.
Together.
Said, come, how can I help you? you have something mail? Like your words, pretty lady. Was that weird? Sorry. Exciting. You haven't spoken. Of course, that's my job. Package. Do not
Here's
open.
a highlight from last week's private sessions, edited and curated for this radio show.
Scan. Bell Church.
Thank you for calling. Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Bartimaeus, one moment please. Okay. Let's do this, chat. Let's get through this. She did. Did. Is we are the same. Or even is this booklet? What does the message we are the same mean? Thank you for talking me through it. Comes like a sermon. Good day now. You too?
My name
There.
is David. I work as a furniture repair specialist over at Whisper.
Yes, I know. I'm a psychic, David.
Why did you tell me this way?
It's a good business on this island, David. Furniture repair. How did you find yourself in that line of work? And let me stop you right there, David, because I already know the answer. I'm sensing a warm, loving family life. You're following in your family's footsteps.
My parents left me at Drag Shallow Docks when I was 10 years
Oh, Archie. My name's Archie. I've got a package for you to mail. Emperor envelope. What's in it? No problem. Not really my job anyway.
10 years old. They were terrified of me.
Yes, that must have been what I was sensing.
I heard whispers every night when the house got quiet.
Whisper stamp. I already stamped it. It's tasty.
Something was speaking to us.
Package. Scan. Drag Shallow Bay.
Close our eyes to sleep, to forget.
I'm sensing
Matilda. Hello. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'll go check. Return promptly. Sorry, there's nothing for you today. This letter. Can do.
parents were frightened by this.
And she. Festival Graves.
They were mostly upset that I set fire to our basement.
I sensed a fire as well. Yes.
The whispers were telling us something evil was down there, and we needed to perform some
Still,
sort
those
of
must be
ceremony to
sent.
cleanse the house.
Must be opened. Tesla, let me know when you receive it. Then
I explained that it was an accident and that we were just trying to save the family. But my brothers denied it and blamed it all on me. And several years later, here I am, a professional furniture repair specialist. I don't even remember any of the trauma and business needs.
okay. Let's get Shirley back.
What an inspiring tale, David. For the listeners, that is, since I already knew it. What are you calling in about today? And
No thanks, let's check the radio. Because I don't care about him. Okay.
how can I help you?
There's the phone.
Lately,
Seems like you're trying to get Shelly to come back for another round of training.
Got
And you
lonely.
chose to bring Shelly back instead of calling me Rookie. I'm hurt.
Shirley was creepy, but at least she never threatened to torture me.
I've never threatened any such thing. Making false claims about your boss? Not the smartest move, Rookie. We have to teach you to stop fiddling around with things while working one way or another. Ah, well. Some people need constant reminders in the workplace. I'll have her sent over first thing in the morning. Enjoy the training. Talk soon.
I've been struggling to remember where I live. I stayed in the wrong house for an entire week before the people living there remembered I wasn't part of their family. So when I eventually did get out,
I'll stop you right there. I know what you're asking, David, and I have.
Package sent here. I sure do. You have to be more specific. There are all kinds of people in here. Actually, I'm stuck in a weird time. Don't want to hear about your personal life. Anything else? Did you hear about the drowning last night? It was in the paper this morning. The one day I don't got a copy. Can I see yours? Sure, let me go get it.
Have good news. My site is showing me a lot of things right now. Bits and pieces of information that will likely
Wait,
only make
what?
sense to you. So really,
There
take
else
the
is
time.
something. Here you go. Thanks. I owe you one. Back in a couple days. If you see or hear anything else, let me know. Next time I'm here.
Time to ponder over them. I see clouds.
Paper looks different.
Clouds congregate.
Hey, rookie. How are things going with Shelly so far?
She never
You
showed
can't
up.
fool me that easily, rookie. I've heard all about how well she's
She's
doing.
not
It
here.
sounds like we may have a post office prodigy on our hands.
She's great, but personality can be a bit
As a
wooden.
reminder, puns are only funny when I make them. I must admit, I didn't think you'd have such a knack for training up a new postmaster, especially with no prior experience.
I'm a
If I
natural.
didn't know any better, I'd be worried you were trying to replace me as the manager. You wouldn't do that to me, would you?
But then who would constantly harass me over the
Oh,
phone?
don't be so sour, rookie. It's unbecoming. How's that old saying go? Heavy is the head that wears the frown.
I didn't know
Also,
that was a
snark
saying.
is really my thing, so don't even bother. I've got years on you.
That's not how the
I'm not
saying
even going to
goes.
dignify that with a response. What all of this tells me is that you still have a lot to learn through this whole training thing. I'm going to recommend that Shelly finishes out the remainder of your week so both of you can learn as much as you can. Then you can always invite her back next week to continue the training. How's that sound?
Great.
Lovely to hear. I knew you'd come around. Gotta run for now, so make me proud. Good luck. Talk soon.
Giving over a single
Shelly's still
point,
not here.
surrounded by many, many rows of trees. I see an animal as well. Maybe a fish or some sort of
The
rodent.
actual bay.
It's calling to you.
Slayers Inc.
It's saying, "Find me, David, when the tide washes the roads away. Follow the wind." Or the scent of lavender. It's unclear. Does that mean?
Which song was it?
Mean anything to you, David? David? Oh, I forgot. I hung up on him already. Of course it means something to him, then. He'll be home in no time, I'm sure.
Hung up on him is wild. Oh, I forgot to open it. Polygon. Yeah, I'm off to bed. Sheesh. Go to sleep.
Hello, rookie. How are you enjoying your stay in our little piece of hell?
5
I
out of
would
5
assume that
stars.
you're being sarcastic, but I sometimes think you genuinely enjoy being stuck in
Yeah,
this
I'm just a
place.
masochist, you know.
But that's beside the point. Remember how you didn't stop those freaks from torturing and murdering
I
you?
tried.
I've had time to think, and I decided that I should thank you.
Please, can you let me explain what
I
happened?
decided I should thank you, because you inadvertently forced me to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out, when you push a person
That's
to the
nice.
brink of their humanity, it opens up doors to things beyond insanity. I told you, I am here.
With the devil?
Just as I was on the edge, teetering between the brink of life and death, of sanity and insanity, it found me. I was swallowed by an angry, violent ocean.
So,
My
yeah,
mind was battered by
you
waves
signed a
and
contract
waves
with a
of
demon.
visions and sensations, flooding my nervous system. I knew that if I kept fighting, kept resisting, I was going to drown. The truth was, I had been fighting against it ever since I first stepped foot in this place. So I stopped fighting. I finally just welcomed it. And the power, Rookie. It was like I had slipped on a new skin, one unbound by mortality.
That's nice,
I was
Liv.
outside of myself, listening to the thrum of
The
its
sarcastic.
heart,
That's
feeling
nice,
the blood
dear.
rushing in its veins, sensing the organized chaos of its cells. The fog. The Somnagath.
It's a visual. You're completely
Maybe I
insane.
am, but it feels so good. Honestly, I don't know why I was so determined to hold on to my sanity in the first place. All the things that tied me to my old life were just keeping me from becoming more.
Some know what?
The thing that brought us here, that keeps us here. Ever since I took the deal, it's with me. I hear its name. Not spoken, but like my tendons unravel and its
There you
limbs
go.
woven into them. I've got a piece of it in me, and every other moment feels like being a part of this fog. Like all I'm capable of is obscuring, poisoning, choking,
Uh-huh.
melting away every inch of skin until your whole body and soul are just a raw wound.
I think that's
That's
TMI.
what lies ahead, Rookie.
What does any of that mean?
I've unlocked the secrets of this place.
The secrets of the ley lines are no secrets to me.
It
Okay,
means I know
Capitano.
why we're here, and I know that there's no hope left for any of us.
I'm supposed to just believe you? How do I know you haven't been able to do this all along?
I've gotta say, I'm flattered by the idea. Me, Liv, master puppeteer and deceiver. Unfortunately, you're giving me too much credit, Rookie. I would have been having a lot more fun before this if I'd had these powers all along.
So what? You're just calling to gloat?
Oh, Rookie, it's really not that complicated. You're the only one here who can truly appreciate all of this. All the other townies have been drained of their substance by now. They don't even know they're trapped.
What about Indrik?
They won't be able to understand the gravity
Would she be able
of
to
all of
haunt
this.
Indrik?
But you, on the other hand, I wanted to hear your voice when you found out beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is no escape.
I don't believe you.
You have no idea what you're up against, Rookie. Somnagath is beyond our comprehension. All of Carnum is just a single cell in its body. Most of the time it doesn't notice us or anything we do. You don't notice bacteria in you until you're sick, right? It feeds on our broken natures. It's
Right.
fueled by our misery, our depravity,
Lovely.
and it always chooses people who are already breaking. already lost. So really, think of this place as an improvement. Clearly the lives we lived before we were brought here were embarrassments.
None of that
Is
means
that
I can't
optimism
escape.
genuine, or are you just an idiot? You don't need to answer that. Obviously, it's the latter.
I'm not an idiot.
We are going to have so much fun in your last days. I can't wait to play with my new powers to see what exciting new ways I can break your fragile little mind. Get some sleep, rookie. You don't have many moments of rest left.
Wait, so I'm finally not gonna be stuck sleeping every night? I won't have to sleep every single night? Oh, hi, Shelly. Don't startle me like that. Interesting, but it's for Matilda, so sure. Don't open it. Oops. An axe. Hi, Shelly. I'm waking though. Hello. Keep following me. Find a way to shed you. Package. Another pickup. See package. Hope I can send it for you. Strange. Something was telling me to give it to you. Well, I'm already here, so might as well leave some things here. Here they are. Hope they get where they need to go. Don't care about these. This though. Aww. So slay. Small boy has returned. 2 packages in hand. Hi, Emperor Envelope. Just package I need mailed. Really appreciate it if you could keep extra quiet about this one. Why the secrecy? Father wants me to go sink it in the bay, but I don't actually know how to swim. Fine, but you owe me one. Okay. I always repay my favorite backs. The ones I remember to, at least. Just don't tell anyone about the package. Bye! Jag shallow. Away all packages. It's a gift. What a mess. Sure, whatever you need. I'm sure one of my favorite tomes to my good friend. Same one who sent me some package yesterday. See, I like to have a look at it. Of course. Yeah, I'd be happy to. Historical Society. Okay. Let's have it lickety split. Oh yeah, him. Hello to you, Mr. Gorman Maywood. As I'm sure you're already aware, I bid you attend my words closely. This young child deposited more than a single package at this location over the past 48 hours. If so, speak. No clue what you're talking about. Don't you have held a single clue about many things? It would explain your current position. Yet are you absolutely certain you'd stake your life on it that a child delivered but a single package to you yesterday. No package today. Like I said, got a package yesterday, and I haven't seen him since. Are you well paid, Vagrant? No, don't answer that. I don't want to distract your feeble, ambling thoughts. I make it very simple. I will pay you an exorbitant amount of money for the truth, and will accept no substitute. No, he wasn't here today. You've lied to me. There shall be consequences. Take your payment. Did I just get money? Where did I find the tomes? Let me package this. Check show. Stamp, scan, and wait, maybe it's upstairs. Since pushing this tome, time moves more swiftly. You understand this tome. You understand this tome is limited. Call the historian. Since pushing this tome, your grasp exceeds your reach. Okay. Hi, Shelly. Tome. 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 Okay, now we can mail these out. Thank you, Shelly. You're a sweetie heart. I could just scan away. Said no. Hello, welcome back. Yep, mailed it. Glad to help. Got merchant business. It's actually really sweet. Come back, Miss Blythe. Believe so. I'll go check on that for you. Tilda Blythe. Here you go. One last request. So I couldn't decide who exactly to receive this. Staff plan orthodox. Entirely unguided. Someone tall. Durable. Two men. Dr. Payne or Dr. Gary. Suit on preference between the two. Do my best. Okay, so basically, TLDR, I need to mail this letter out to one of them, and it's going to be, oops. Okay. 25 thoughts. Gotta send it to a destination tonight. So, goodness, she is. I haven't yet. Was important. It's nice. Looking for your heirloom. Yep. Package scan. Way. And Economistical Society. Which goes to Wistvale.
Hey, rookie. How are things going with Shelly so far?
Going really well. She seems to be really catching on.
So. It sounds like we may have a post office prodigy
She's
on our
natural.
hands. I can't say I expect. I must admit, I didn't think you'd have such. If I didn't know any better, I'd be worried.
I'd rather show
don't
myself.
Be so sour. How's that old saying go? Also, snark is really my thing, so don't even bother. I've got years on you.
At least it wasn't a pun this
I'm not
time.
even going to dignify that with a response. What all of this tells me is that you still have a lot to learn through this whole training thing. I'm going to recommend that Shelly finishes out the remainder of your week so both of you can learn as. How's that sound?
Great.
Lovely to hear. Gotta run for now. Good luck. Talk.
So. You wanna look in there? Sure. Then this tome. Package scan. Way. Then it's I. Nope. G. Kind of Historical Society. Some Wistvale stamp. Then mail it. Give me one moment. Where's Shelly? Oh. I don't care. Night, Shelly. Oh, don't touch that. Hey, yo. Yeah, I know it's storming. So anyway, we gotta do... Aww, that's cute, actually. I like this one. Okay. See where she goes next. Oh. Mm-hmm. Snuggles. Excuse me, Shelly. Oh. Let's get downstairs. That's moving. What are the things people are mailing to each other? I have wanted to pull people over the window. The one for you. I think there's a bunch of ones. What's the number then? 111. Oh. Do I need to mail the last one? Oh, Shelly, I'm so sorry to do this, and I hate doing this. I feel terrible doing this. Okay. Hi, Amber Envelope! So I'm excited. Hi. I've got another package for you to mail. Should I need to keep quiet about this one too? Nope, although I don't think anyone will ask. My father was quite pleased with how I handled the last package. Thanks for covering for me. Your dad came by. He was pretty weird about the whole package thing. Ah, yeah, he can be really serious about his work. Thanks again for not telling him. What's got you so excited? Just between us, fathers deem me worthy to bear a lot more responsibility. Oh, what does that look like? Well, first, no more hunting around in the swamps for me. And second, I'm being trusted with all of the ingredients. Yeah, ingredients for the recipe we're cooking. What are you cooking? These packages aren't kept cold or anything. I hope nothing went bad. Well, you should pretty please mail this one really fast just to be safe. I'll see you tomorrow. What does he do for a living? I am mailing this. There you go.
Fascinating. Truly fascinating. Well, Delilah, we have a few callers on the line who are looking for logical explanations for their own experiences. Let's help them out, shall we?
All right, let's get to it.
Hi there. Thank you for calling in. Can you please state your name and
Actually,
your
I feel
story?
so bad doing this. I'm so sorry.
Last day, we found a young woman washed up on the shore. She was sopping wet, barely clothed, and babbling on about all sorts of nonsense.
Oh, thank
Something
goodness.
Like talking fish. That night,
How's the form? Doing well? How are you? Almost like fate. Sorry to do that. Do you have something mail? Most people who come here do. Oh no, I mean, yes, we can talk. That's sweet of you. We've had this conversation so many times. Customers like that, like think they can read their mind. Can I what? Can you read minds? Yes. Amazing. May I ask a favor? Of course. When you see the one my gift is meant for, will you search her thoughts? I should like to know what she thinks of me. Can do. Hehehe.
he got up out of bed and followed her right out into the ocean. The only reason we knew that would happen was because parts of his body were found scattered up and down the shore, chewed to pieces. If he encountered a mermaid, that's what all the sailors said. But I think she was.
Yeah, come on.
Well, as tragic as your story is, I'm quite confident that mermaids don't exist.
I'm sensing that several of our citizens would disagree with you.
We live on an island with rough seas and a riptide that can drag you incredibly far away from the shore. It's unfortunate, but even someone who is very experienced can get swept out to sea by accident. The place on the island with some of the strongest currents is the Hag's Teeth, and those rock formations can tear a body to shreds as it's yanked back and forth by the force of the water. And thus you have bodies showing up on the shore looking like they've been devoured, but no mermaids to be seen.
I'm sorry to do this, Shelley. I hate doing this.
And can you state your name and your story?
I'm Logan. I collect them for as long as I can.
Shelley,
Really.
I'm so
If I
sorry.
don't, I wake up frozen.
I just need your key.
Unable to move, and I see a man in a dark coat and a bowler hat standing at the foot of my bed. He doesn't move, he just stands there, smiling, watching me. So,
If I could shut it, I would.
sometimes I think I hear him whispering things to me, but it could just be the wind of him.
So these are all things from Liv's life. So cool. Ooh, disc. Oh. Well. Principles of psychology.
When I'm
I
finally
knew
able to
she
turn the
liked
lights on,
psychology.
poof, he vanishes. Like he was never even there to be.
We're gonna listen to her diaries.
Don't even know what to say.
Not even gonna get paid. Chick, I'm shutting you.
Dreamt of escaping this place every day since I arrived, God knows how many weeks ago now. And now that I'm standing here staring into the fog, I'm unable to move my legs. Not literally, of course. My whole body is actually shaking with energy right now. More energy than I've had as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
I'm just
Sorry.
frozen in place. The post office is all I know here, and now I'm looking at the outside world for the first time. At least I assume it's the outside. I'm honestly not even entirely sure how I got here. My mind has a sort of haze that's descending over me. I can't think straight. I spend my days wandering around in circles, doing laps around the room to see how many times it takes to fill a whole day. Stumbled onto something. Next thing I know, I'm holding a key. 8 or so more laps around the office, and I notice that the custodian closet door has a keyhole.
Okay, and
The
then
odds, I think. The door swings open, and I feel wind and rain on my face for what feels like the first time in my life. It's been so long. The only thing I can do.
whoa. Can't believe I lost Shelley, but it's for a good cause. Because I need a key. Come on. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Look how perfect I am. Oh, is there lag? Go to sleep.
WLK, U-Talk Radio, with your host, Scarlet Perch.
Hello, Carmen. Sometimes our experiences present us with questions that are not easily answered. What is the meaning of life? Am I the best version of myself? Was someone else's death my own fault? We may never know the answer to these questions, which can be a struggle in and of itself. But does that mean we should... We should just...
Alright, I think...
My name is Scarlet.
Okay. I think this is enough for tonight. The interview was super fun. Like... really fun. Over... I need to head out. I've got to eat, and I've got voice acting class at 8. So I need to head out. It was so fun hanging out. Thank you guys all for joining. Thank you for the developers for playing with me. Let me... There you go. Save and quit. Quit. Save. Okay. So, I'll make sure I write those reviews today. In the meantime, we are going to raid out. Boop. You bot. Raid. Yay, big love. You're in the same category. Ooh. Let's raid this person. Mermegan. I'm gonna read them. Thank you guys so much for joining. It was so awesome. I hope you have a lovely day too. Here's your raid messages. Thank you guys so much for joining. Let me see. Don't forget to check out my shop. Check out my VGen if you like if you want to see some of my art. And for more artists, check out the artists and everyone who worked on with me. Check them all out. And of course, check out Letter Lost. Make sure to review it like the developers said. And review all your indie games. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you guys have a lovely, lovely day. Goodbye.